But it all comes back 7 years ago because her cells exist on these other worlds technically.
The reunion of worlds to bring
Yeah.
Jenova back together.
Yeah.
It's
I
such
don't
a
know. You
good
said it much
thought by
better than I
Aaliyah.
did.
Dude, Aaliyah's cooking, man. He's already seeing the Zack and Aerith that he sees in Advent Children. It's Final Fantasy X, guys. Zanarkand. We not only find out how Sephiroth gained power of the planet and rebuilt his body, we had a hand in it. He says, I give you my blessing. They do the third Nobuo song during this beautiful tragic montage where you have Cloud and Tifa. Nanaki says that we are slowly forgetting the whispers. Guess what they don't remember in Advent Children? So obviously the Aerith, I think the Aerith date.
My book fell.
The sacred text! We need that! Hello everyone and welcome to the show. I am joined with the amazing Aaliyah Will, my girlfriend. We're going to be discussing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, ending, theory talk. We replayed OG FF7, finished today. Everything's fresh in our mind and we have so much to talk about. We figured it all out. So this is the only theory talk you need to watch. Okay. Aaliyah, if you don't know her, has an amazing stream on Twitch, the best show on Twitch, the best voice on Twitch. She is incredible and she loves FF7 and has become a lore master recently. So we're gonna let her unleash. But I think it's really exciting. And honestly, we need more women in the theory game. So I'm really excited
ready to go. I'm still riding the high of OG. That game is crazy.
It's so good. Yeah. Oh, you may have also seen our cosplays, guys. We do a lot of Final Fantasy cosplay together. There's a new secret one on the way. There's a new secret cosplay on the way, so get ready for that. FF7. And you may have also seen our voice acting shenanigans. We have a lot of fun when Aaliyah summons me.
Right. I know that's right.
When she uses my summon materia and brings me onto the stream.
You just
We have so much that we figured out that we want to tell you guys. So
Oh yeah, we kept journals when we played through the original.
Do you
game.
have it? Do you want to show it? Do you have the journal?
Yeah, sure.
She has a real lore book, guys. This is how serious she is. Look at this. She also made this tome by herself.
We take this seriously. We take this very seriously. Every single time I thought the game was going to end, I'm like, this is just, there's so much story. This is so rich. It's just like hours more.
Yes.
More content. We dive deeper. It gets more crazy. Things build up. Tifa is suplexing dragons. I'm like, what's going on? It's
suplexing
incredible.
Jenova.
Yes, suplexing Jenova.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a real deal. But this game, I cannot. Which makes me very excited for the third game because, as you may know, we're still again on a high of Rebirth.
Absolutely on high Rebirth. Yeah, goodness. It was. I stand by what I said. The best Final Fantasy game. Have you guys ever tried to explain the original Final Fantasy VII story to someone? Like, it's impossible. I've tried it a million times in my life. Yeah, it's my favorite thing. What's it about? So complex. The last part of the game, which is going to be the third part of the trilogy, non-stop, crazy plot turns, crazy lore things happening. It's just like, whoa! It's almost hard to keep up. Final Fantasy VII Theory Master List. So we're going to be going through this and, sharing what we have discovered. First on the list, we have theories and themes. A Sephiroth Whisper Theory. I really instantly made the connection to Final Fantasy X, which I've not heard anybody else really talk about. So I'm excited. We'll get to that. But one of my main things that I thought of, again, is sort of clarity on the OG lore and stuff that makes sense. The low-hanging, easy example to kind of compare for you guys is the Gi tribe in the Black Materia, right? You see how they just clarify. It just connects so much of the lore and makes it make sense. And that's kind of the theme of today is it all makes sense now. Yeah. And then also it explains why Jenova cannot die, why she can't dissolve into the legend. So it's just like, now it finally makes sense. And before you kind of had to infer like, whatever, she's really powerful or something, or I don't know. Like now it makes sense. There's the clarity in the lore, and there's sort of a checklist where, again, explaining the story to someone is a perfect way to be like, wow, there are actually kind of a lot of things that are just.
They built up the Gi. I get it. I understand why.
With that in mind, that's going to be a lot of the themes I talk about today is how Remake and Rebirth are kind of clarifying stuff and making it make sense. And this is going to go from all the way of stuff in the OG all the way to Advent Children, and I think really meaningful ways. And Aaliyah and I also recently watched Advent Children, so like she's got it all fresh in her head, and that's kind of the fun thing we talked about earlier is like, me being a person who's loved the game for like, I don't even know, like 20 years or something, or more than that. It's really cool to Aaliyah, who is now honestly a veteran fan. She's loved it for probably 5-ish years or something still. But it's really cool to see how like you can still come into the game, you know, whenever around the time the remake came out, Aaliyah really got into it. And now it's like, it's super cool to get new perspectives and everything, which I think is fantastic. So, all right, let's look at it. So the Sephiroth Whisper theory. So this is what I wrote down. We not only find out how Sephiroth gained power of the planet and rebuilt his body, we had a hand in it. It all makes sense now. And I want to explain this to you guys. So it hit me the other day. I was like, oh my goodness. It all finally makes sense. And I first realized it when we saw, when Tifa went into the live stream and was inside the weapon. Of course, there's going to be spoilers for everything in this talk. I'll just say that if you somehow didn't realize we're going to be spoiling everything, every game and everything. So when Tifa is in the live stream inside the weapon and we see Sephiroth in the live stream, right? With like, he's controlling the Black Whispers and stuff. It's like, that's when I started to be like, yes, you know, Sephiroth reconstructs his body after he's killed by Cloud, but like Jenova, he can't be absorbed into the live stream. It's kind of legitimized the end of Remake, where a lot of us were like, what is happening in this final boss fight? What exactly is happening? It finally all makes sense to me, guys. So what's happening is, not only are we figuring out how Sephiroth rebuilt his body, we have a hand in it. We're seeing it happen. In the OG, he just falls into the live stream. We assume, oh, he just got like the knowledge of the ancients and now he can start to do that. No, now in Remake, before the final fight, he's not very present, Sephiroth. Like he kind of gives little, like he's using Jenova powers, right? He's talking to Cloud and little sort of like hallucinations, very Jenova, right? Very Jenova coded stuff. He's appearing to Cloud and kind of like a hallucination. He's not interacting. He's not touching stuff. He's not doing anything, right? Whereas in Rebirth, like he destroys the Midgar Zalem, you know, the Midgard Sormir. He's like acting in the world. So what happens is...
That's a great observation.
Right. So what happens is at the end, he tricks us into fighting the Whisper Harbinger, which is sort of the leader, the whatever you want to call it, the king of the Harbingers, the Whispers. We defeat it. And then what do we see? Sephiroth absorbs the Whispers inside himself. And which is the Whispers are the power of the planet, right? The cries of the planet, the Whispers of the planet. He absorbs the Whispers, gains the knowledge of the planet. That's it, man. Then in the second game, he is being reborn. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And that's when he starts to act in the world. That's when he can kill the Midgar Sormir. That's when he can do all these things. So I'm like, I think that's really what's happening here. Again, in the first game, he's able to like, you know, he's able to become robed people, other people that have Jenova cells. Like when he goes into Shinra to collect her body, just Jenova stuff. Once he gets the Whispers, he's able to like...
Jenova stuff.
Yeah, just typical Jenova stuff. He's able to like do planet stuff now. So he's really gaining power, and we're seeing that, and we're actually seeing that in the story. We also see him in the live stream when Tifa's down there. Like we're seeing it happen, and it's now a part of the story as opposed to just like crazy lore explanation that doesn't really make sense when you play the OG. You really have to think about what happened, right? Aaliyah, you just saw OG. It's like, how did he create his own body? You got to make a ton of like huge jumps in logic and like sort of be a lore master to even understand what happened there. And now it's like, oh my goodness. You see it? You see what I mean? This is it. Yeah. There's no timelines there. Like, this is it, man. He's doing that. He's doing that. So that's my first thought on that. Leah, do you have anything to add?
Well, I also love the parallel. First of all, you ate.
Thank you.
But I love the parallel. We just acknowledge that.
Thank you.
While we played OG and we finally see him in that crystal and he's loading, or he's, you know, we see him without his like.
Oh yeah, there's another big thing we realized here.
Yeah.
Right.
The parallels between that and how we meet Jenova for the first time. It's like 1-to-1.
Absolutely.
Similarity.
When you see him in the crystal versus seeing her in the tank. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so fascinating. But,
yeah, and I had a revelation that at least I had never personally made. I'm sure someone out there has made this comparison, but when you see Sephiroth in the crystal, when his body is being remade, he doesn't have legs. Bizarro Sephiroth, the boss, doesn't have legs. Like that's his body. Like when you see Sephiroth, like that's his actual body now. And like he can still appear again. This is like Jenova type powers that give him this ability to be like shapeshift, steal the faces of people. That's him. And I made that connection. I was like, holy shit, that's terrifying. Like this is Sephiroth's like god form, is when you see him like that, like bizarre Sephiroth. That's why when he says alone at last in Rebirth and he like transforms into this, like what the hell. So it's really cool. And then of course One-Winged Angel, his final form, Seraph, Sephiroth, Safer Sephiroth, whatever translation, that's like his, you know, ascension, different form from that. Like you want to say like Dragon Ball Z, his final form. So it's just, and you know, you could argue that's him like starting to absorb the powers of Meteor because it's really clear, or whatever, the wound of the planet, who knows. Or you could just say it's a cool transformation. But again, maybe we'll get actual lore stuff on that next time, right? That could be really cool.
That would be awesome. Yeah. And we went back to the beginning, Rebirth, I guess the intro / demo. Yeah. When you enter the lab and then he slices open that tank. Oh, yeah. And then one of the monsters falls out and he makes a comparison between him and the monster.
There it is. Yep.
And so it's like such a crazy full circle moment, at least from
Am
what I
I the
saw.
same as these monsters? And he literally becomes a freakish monster. Yeah. By the end of it. It's kind of tragic too, which is.
It's so tragic.
Yep. Which is really cool. So yeah, to me, again, Rebirth and now, like, do you see what I mean? It's legitimized remake. And this is why, again, people who are trying to be like, you know, remake ending was just random boss rush, like convoluted stuff and disconnected stuff just to have new scenes. Like, no, man, this completely legitimized everything that happened at the end of Rebirth. It all makes perfect sense now with this. It's so exciting. And when I made that connection with the Whispers, that like, that's when he was reborn, when he got the knowledge of the planet, just made me so excited. And guess what else happened? And this is why it kind of adds to that and it makes sense within the mechanics. Guess what happened when Aerith dies and enters the lifestream in Rebirth? She gains control of the White Whispers, right? And you see her throw them at Sephiroth when she comes to fight him at the end. And it's like, it all starts to make sense. So this is how she's going to somehow enact the lifestream at the end of OG, right? Now she's in there with, like, it's just so cool. And they're going to be playing chess. Unbelievable stuff, right?
Yes.
Unbelievable stuff.
It's all about 5D chess. I love that. Like Team Avalanche is sort of taking it one step at a time, figuring things out.
Yeah.
And then you have Aerith and Sephiroth like 5 steps ahead, you know, playing chess, just like you said.
And they're already like, oh man, that one line where he's like, I must admit, I underestimated you. It just gives you chills because it's like, this is kind of always how we pictured it back in the day again. But seriously, like to understand and even have that conversation, this is why the original doesn't hold up as kind of an easy to understand piece of media. It's still a masterpiece, but like, yeah, exactly. Very poor form. And hello, Scott. It was awesome to see now, like, no, yeah, this actually makes sense. Like, you know, we don't have to kind of infer and just like guess and be like a super, you know, poring over the Ultimania's lore master to like understand what's going on. And I think, again, by the end of Rebirth, it's all going to make even more sense. And you'll be able to retroactively go back and be like, oh yeah, that's what happened. And at the end of Remake, so it happened at the end of Rebirth, and that's why I think this is just genius. It really is.
Very poor form. Yes.
Yeah. It's so
cool. Speaking of chess.
Yeah, Leah has a cool thought on this. Speaking
of chess. So it was basically Rebirth, their expansion on the Gi, which made me, first of all, love what they're doing. It's so good. And it made me think like, okay, Jenova is... Well, you can answer this for me. Is she immortal? Does she ever?
In the definition that we have of immortal, yeah, she's immortal. Like she can't die.
Yeah, she's lived a long. She's pretty much eternal as far as
like she's not gonna die of old age. Like, you know, she also they've confirmed in Rebirth that she actually is immortal. Like you can't even kill her when she's dead. She's just gonna sit there, kind of like the Gi. And so they slept her essentially. Like, okay, we're gonna put her to sleep, and then one day she woke back up, and scary. So
maybe not immortal by technicality, but she is very, very old. She's
like I said, by our definitions of immortal, she is.
Yeah, if she was around during the Cetra. So essentially, what I thought, I'm thinking, okay, how the heck did the Gi get here? They said their home planet was destroyed, absorbed by our planet. Correct?
Yeah, they said that their world was subsumed by this planet. So Leah had a really cool thought here.
Yeah. So what we know about, and please correct me when I'm wrong, because again, I'm new here, so I'm just trying to figure stuff out. So Jenova is a planet consumer, correct? She destroys planets. She sort of absorbs its
almost like a
energy,
parasite.
life
It would
force,
appear, yeah.
like a parasite, like a parasite. So if she is this immortal, I'll use quotations, immortal being, time doesn't really mean much to her. She's playing chess.
Oh yeah, yeah. She can sleep
What
for
if
10,000 years. Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah, I was thinking like, okay, what if Jenova is the reason why the game's home world was destroyed, making them land on this planet, knowing that they would eventually turn all of their pent up want for freedom, want for release, help, hate into the black materia for her to eventually use it for her own gain. Because to her, like,
Yeah,
I'm sure that makes sense. It's a very easy
I
thing
love it.
to imagine. So I'm
It's,
thinking
it's
Genova's
such a
playing
good thought.
chess here.
Yeah,
I
it's such a
am.
good thought. So yeah, Leah's not just saying that Jenova is 1,000 steps ahead, not 5 steps ahead. Like she planned this whole sort of idea of the Gi to come here and not be able to die, and then somehow try to find a way to destroy the planet, so then she could use that. Like, it's awesome. I think it's a great theory. It's terrifying too. It's like,
Yeah, it's terrifying.
whoa. Yeah, she's even scarier than we thought. It's so cool.
Yeah. I feel like from
Yeah.
what we know about Jenova, it's not too far-fetched.
No, it's not too far fetched at all. And the other thing I think why a lot of people like Jenova is it's just really scary. Like it's this, calamity from
Yeah.
the skies, as they say. Where did she come from? It says she came on a comet. She smashed into the northern crater, caused a wound. She eventually deceives the ancients and stuff. It's just so cool. And I think, again, in part 3, we might see maybe how she deceived them, kind of see some cool stuff back then. Maybe we'll get some Knights of the Round.
Oh my God.
Yeah, brought to
Imagine.
life. That could be really fun. So
That would be so cool.
yeah, it's just absolutely terrifying. And you also ask yourself, it's like, wait, how many planets has Jenova done this to? Where did she come from? It's just, it's so cool.
Yeah.
You think Philip Sick's theory was Sephiroth getting a trial too? Yeah, I'll get to that in a few. Yeah, I said this
spill.
when I first finished the game. I have a cool idea for Sephiroth. I might as well say it now. We're talking about him.
Yeah, why not?
It's more of an idea or a theory, whatever you want to call it. But whatever you want to call my idea about the Masamune, that it pretty much made it into Ever Crisis, my idea. Like, I don't know how. Nomura must have watched my stream or something, but literally,
I believe it.
it's in Ever Crisis. Like my whole idea about like, okay, where did Masamune come from? He had to get it at some point. It's all there. So anyway, this is my idea with Sephiroth. This is my idea. So he's in the live stream. He's being reborn, but his body is not yet complete. I think we can agree on, because in part 3, we're going to probably see that at the Northern Crater. So I thought it'd be really cool if Sephiroth gets his own sort of trial where we see him, and it would give a last final chance for us to see Sephiroth's story. Like, I think it'd be cool to see him with Genesis and Angeal as a young man, maybe when he met them, maybe going to war with them, growing close, maybe see him at his full power in the Wutai War. Again, when we always hear about him being a hero, still never seen it as far as I know. Like when he ended the war and stuff, still never seen it. So that would be really cool. Maybe we see him get the Masamune. Maybe we see him very sad as he loses his friends. He feels betrayed by Genesis. The list goes on. But there's this idea with, I think I remember talking to Sleepeasy about this. If you guys don't know Sleepeasy, he's an incredible creator. There's an idea that Sephiroth has sacrificed all of his humanity when he sort of like became a god, when he was reborn. And that's what allowed him to become so powerful and to get to that level. But he had to sacrifice his memory. So how cool would it be if we play as Sephiroth in his own sort of like mini live stream sequence, like we've seen with Tifa and Cloud now?
Oh my God, imagine.
Kind of going through his memories and kind of that last shred of humanity, and just being like, it was all just pain. It was all just loneliness. Hojo even betrayed me, and kind of like from pre-birth, he was already betrayed and like abused and everything. It's terrible. And it's just like, why would I hold on to this anymore? And then him kind of sacrificing. I think it could be really cool. And that could even come, at the end of the game. That could even come when he.
Oh my God.
What
okay.
Is it? What you got?
So you talk about him losing his humanity, and this is a minor thing, but like, first of all, so at the very end, major spoiler for the end of Final Fantasy VII OG.
Of course.
But we kill Sephiroth. Essentially, you see his face, and then it sort of blacks out. The screen blacks out, and then you see his face covered in blood.
Yeah.
And it definitely reminded me of Rebirth, how you know, we kind of get those flashes between reality and Cloud's delusions. You know, we see the blood splattered on Aerith, and you're like, wait, what's real? Is she dead? But what I think I love so much about Final Fantasy VII OG's ending with Sephiroth is that it feels so human. You know what I mean? Like we never.
Oh yeah.
You never see him harmed. You never see him bloodied up. Like that's just not something we see on Sephiroth.
Yes.
So like his whole life he's sacrificing his humanity. He wants to become a god. He's a monster. He compares him to a monster. And then at the very end we just see his face covered in blood, and it's like this is a guy. Like
and it's a look of fear and surprise too, and pain that's on his face. It's an interesting expression.
So it's just such an interesting,
which makes it even more interesting because that's like Edge of Creation Sephiroth, like the most kind of lofty, like I know everything Sephiroth. I think it's going to be really cool to see that too. And I sort of the last part of that theory that I was talking about is how cool would it be if at the end somehow he gets his humanity back, his memories back, and he's so much you know, feels the pain, and that's almost what like defeats him. I think it'd be really cool. He kind of falls apart and becomes a little bit more human again. It could be awesome. That's almost his undoing.
I had a question for you about that.
You did? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, the Edge of Creation, I am confused by it. I want to know more about it. Is it like a limbo state? Is it between death and life? Like
exactly. So this is the cool thing about the Edge of Creation is, like I said, the remake trilogy is sort of clarifying everything from the OG. So when you see the end, which you just saw of OG, now you get it. It's like, wait, okay, this is the Edge of Creation. This is what they were doing, is they're trying to kind of build this up to be something. And then you see the shots of, you know, them back and forth. They've done it twice now. I did it with Zack and Cloud. I did it with Cloud and Sephiroth in the first one. This kind of duel at the end. They're building it up in each game. So in the third one, right, it's going to finally go back there. And now the cool thing is we keep getting new info. We keep learning more in each game. And I think it's paying off that sort of slow drip feed of information really well. For example, now we know, okay, that sort of wormhole graphic that Cloud goes through before he ends up in the other dream world, or when he comes back from the dream world in Rebirth, that's the graphic at the end. So it's okay, therefore you could infer that the Edge of Creation is another dream world, right? And again, the Final Fantasy X connection, I've not seen anybody else talk about it. It's Final Fantasy X, guys. And that's what I want to encourage people with the conversation about these games. Remake, I think a lot of people approached it completely wrong. Well, I think obviously now we can say for sure they approached it wrong. A lot of people just said it's going to go off the rails. It'll be unrecognizable in Rebirth. We will not go to any of the old locations. It's just going to be completely unrecognizable story, like totally different. That was incorrect. So I think we can say now it is going to resemble, you know, the original a lot more with stuff like that. What did Chat say? Edge of Creation? Yeah. So Edge of Creation, like it's an explanation for what's going on there. It's going to make more sense. We're going to Zanarkand. Yeah, it's literally Zanarkand. I'm telling you. So the mindset I want to encourage people to get into is it's much simpler and much better than like anything we theorized. Pretty much, right? It's Final Fantasy X. And again, I keep saying that it's oversimplification. There's obviously its own unique things. It's its own unique original idea, but like it's a dream world that is eventually going to go away. That's literally Zanarkand in Final Fantasy X. And Sephiroth said, no matter what, all of these worlds die. And they all return to the lifestream, and they all become one again with the lifestream. He said some last longer, like the one that Zack was in with the sky open, but he's like, yeah, others just like pitter out and go away. But yeah, it's Zanarkand, guys. It's such a simple idea. Like, it's a dream world, a dream. There was that awesome dialogue in Cosmo Canyon somebody caught, where this NPC was saying, there's this theory that, you know, I've just heard it's not proven, but, you know, it's got some holes, but there's this idea that, you know, what if when we die, our hopes and dreams are separated? And, you know, what if you got a vision appear into that idea of your hopes and dreams that were unfulfilled when you died? And it's like, okay, yeah, it's making sense. It's making a lot of sense, right? So it seems very Zanarkand to me. And again, fleeting dreamlets. Yeah, there you go, Josh. And it's just so cool. So I guess my point is the whole theme of this conversation, or at least part of it, is that everything is being clarified from the original. It is not just creating a bunch of like baggage that's not going to go anywhere. It's in fact doing the opposite. And there's definitely some cool new ideas that are being created from this, but now it's like by the end, it's all going to make a lot of sense. And it may still kind of put some cool bookends on stuff that was in question from Advent Children and Dirge of Cerberus, but like it's going to do it in a way that also completes the OG and solidifies everything, in my opinion. Much like the Aerith dream. Like, Aaliyah, we were playing the original. God. And it's funny because I played it like right before I streamed this part in Rebirth. I think that's why I was so like tuned into what was happening in the story, because I had just played it when you give the black materia to Sephiroth and he attacks Aerith and she runs away. It's like the next scene is the dream where Cloud is in the forest and Aerith is like, hey, leave Sephiroth to me. It's all going to be good. And then guess who drops down from the sky, guys? Yeah. Sephiroth drops down from the sky. Guess what? And this is when we're in the dream date with Aerith that she created to have her last moment with Cloud. That's what I think this is. Very beautiful.
That was so heartbreaking. Oh my God.
What happens? A feather falls from the sky. This is where you've been hiding. It's the forest, man. It's just an expanded idea, more emotional idea of the forest. Again, working this in mechanic of like a dream world. But this is where I kind of want people to look at it from a simpler point of view. It's like when you look at the original and you see that scene, it's been in it all these years. That scene happens, right? Like Cloud is in a dream, but Aerith is either like inserting herself into his dream. Like that conversation happened is what I'm saying. And then Sephiroth also inserts himself into the dream. This is a place, you know, it's not like a little fantasy. Like, no, that happened, you know? She's sending thoughts to Cloud, or they're in a place, or she put him in a place. And then Sephiroth joins in and says like, you're screwed, you know, I found you. So my point is like when you saw that back in the day where you're like, oh, I can't believe this is a multiverse story now. Oh my God. Yeah. Multiverse timeline. Oh yeah. Time travel. It's like, no, you didn't say it. It's just obviously like a cool abstract idea of a dream and she's able to communicate. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, it's a bigger expansion of that. And honestly, providing clarity of how that works in the world, I think in a really meaningful way, as opposed to the opposite mindset, which is like, yeah, just creating a bunch of new stuff, changing everything, new scenes that don't tie into anything. Like, no, it's deeply doing the opposite, tying into everything.
Yeah. And I do like, well, poor Cloud, first of all, he just sort of juggled around here and there. But,
yeah,
you know,
the
fact that Aerith can just like pluck Cloud out of reality, put him in her dream. It sort of reminded me, since we literally just played the ending, where you see, we think we beat Sephiroth, and then Cloud is talking to Tifa, and he's like, he's laughing right now. It's over.
He's laughing. Yeah.
He's laughing. This is bad. And then he's like, his consciousness is just floating out of him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is Sephiroth just plucking him out and
plucking him? That's it. You see that second Cloud a lot.
Insane. Yeah, the second Cloud
in the original game. So again, this is them. Let's work with this. Let's work with that second Cloud. Like, what is that second Cloud? What's going on here? Good question. Yeah, it's the Cloud that wakes up in the wheelchair, right? Like it's his sort of spiritual self. Is it his true self, perhaps? That's put to sleep until he reclaims himself in the live stream. Like, we don't know. But yeah, these are the questions that are now going to be answered and kind of like make sense with the trilogy and where it's going. I think, again, in a meaningful way. It's really exciting.
That's Cloud's true self. Is he facing, and you say he's facing Sephiroth's true self in the end when he eventually...
yeah. This is a theory I said today, right? Yeah. It's like, so one of my cool thoughts I had about Aerith, and we'll get into this conversation, when Aerith dies in Rebirth, or maybe you think she doesn't die, whatever you guys think. I think she dies. And I said to Aaliyah, it's like, okay, when you see him in the beautiful scene in the church where Aerith says, like, she kind of realizes, I don't really love Cloud. Yeah, I like him, but it was a fantasy. I love Zach, and thank you. Yeah, I still want to have this moment with you. I still want to kind of dream of our love. And I'm going to push him to save him. I'm going to give him the white materia so he can save the world. I don't get to have a normal life. I don't get to love anymore. I got bigger things to do.
It's so tragic.
So beautiful. She pushes him in. Sephiroth walks in the door. And then we don't see anything else in that scene, right? So what happened there?
That was so rough.
Yeah, I raise you that this is what happened there. When Sephiroth gets stopped from when Cloud parries Sephiroth, he does not stab her. That's when Sephiroth in the church, because by the way, we heard from the devs that Sephiroth exists in numerous places at the same time now. He exists in all worlds at the same time. That's how powerful he is. While also playing Rufus and acting as Glenn and stuff. Like, he truly is the coolest villain ever. He's just everywhere at the same time. But yeah,
Come on, Shakespeare.
Yeah. In my opinion, Sephiroth kills the true Aerith in the church, her true self, in the church. her spiritual self, you don't want to say, and that's why she dies, even though like Sephiroth didn't stab her, because he literally walked in the church behind her. Like, what went on there, right? And then after that, that's why she passes on. So I think that's a really cool idea. That when we just played the ending of the original, I said, "Oh my God, did Cloud just fight and kill Sephiroth's true self, and that's why he died for real? Like when he went to the edge of creation? Is that what's happening here?"
Yes.
Yeah, because the devs have even said like, oh, there's like different Sephiroths. There's, obviously Memories Sephiroth, where it's like a flashback. There's, pre-Whispers Sephiroth. There's post-Whispers Sephiroth. There's post having control of Jenova Sephiroth. There's a lot of different versions of how he speaks and stuff. So that could very well be his sort of ultimate self, which I think could be really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we can totally talk about Aerith's, the tragic Aerith death scene.
Yeah.
I think that I absolutely love what the developers did, where we feel like we're Cloud. We literally feel like we're Cloud because we're like, what's happened? We're confused. We're in denial. We're like, okay, what's real? What's not? I mean, and I rewatched the scene a few times, like 5 to 10 times. And I'm like, dang, maybe I am Cloud. I'm like in denial, just rewatching it. And I think it's such a smart move from, I'm sure you appreciate it as a filmmaker, but like that feeling of confusion, we're literally right in his place at that moment, and then you split for a second, and then you see just how broken Cloud is.
Oh yeah, I said it when we were first talking about it, Leah, right? But like I don't think I've ever seen something, especially in a video game format, that sort of asks so much of the audience in a good way. It's like you really are meant to pay attention, and like I guess what I mean is on a rewatch, like every single shot is very important. Like he's voicing information at such a sort of dense level. Like there's no throwaway shots. Like when you see her get stabbed, you see a different angle, you see the sword pull out, you see Cloud like glitching in between giving the speech, which I think is just him again in denial, like he's closing it up, because as this is happening, and as he thinks Aerith is telling him like it's okay, it's gonna be all right, Sephiroth is literally saying to him like, you'll never see the truth with such clouded eyes. Like he's literally telling him like you're denying what's happening in front of you. And I think that it's so well done and is so sort of sophisticated, and every single shot means something, as opposed to just like the opposite even, which is like, oh, the shots look really cool, but they're not really conveying too much information. So there's different sides to that. But my goodness, so good.
They gave us so much insight on his state, his just like emotional state.
And like when you see Aerith reach up and grab it, and she says, it's okay, everything's all right. And then when Tifa sees Cloud, it's not this, it's holding her hand there, like hallucinating,
so
like hoping she's saying that. It's incredibly dark and so beautifully done. Yeah. And when we're going to see the real scene, don't worry, we will. And the sort of burial of Aerith and stuff, it's probably going to be I
love your connection though. I love your connection when they lowered her onto the...
Yes, I did say that, and I didn't see anyone else speak on that either. When he puts her on the ground and her music drops very intensely, by the way, it's him lowering her into the lake. It's the same motion and everything. So I thought that was a really cool connection. Sort of the visual language that they've established. And I think we're going to see what happened to him. Again, my kind of super dark theory was that Sephiroth is going to use it to completely destroy Cloud, like whatever's left of him at this point at the Northern Crater. He's going to say, not only were you not in Nibelheim, that was Zach, but also...
Oh my God.
Also, wait, didn't I tell you? You thought you saved her? I already told you. What does he say in the first game? Chat. He says, you can't save anyone. Right when Cloud meets Aerith. That's what he says to him. Oh. You can't save anyone in the street. And then boom, he's going to say, didn't I tell you? You couldn't save anyone? Here's what really happened. I told you can't see the truth. It's going to be
ready.
Wild. It's going to hurt, man. Yeah.
It's going to hurt.
It's going to absolutely destroy. It's going to absolutely destroy him.
Yeah. The burial scene will make you cry. Yeah. Oh my God. You and me both.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know a few people have different ideas about how, like what happened with Cloud stopping Sephiroth, and then suddenly he didn't stop Sephiroth and he was able to kill Aerith. I'm not sure what your theory particularly is, but I think that scene was such a massive flex of Sephiroth's powers. Like we really see
Oh yeah.
how like omnipresent he is. You know, like you said, he exists in every world, or do you, like
Yeah, he
he
exists
has
everywhere at once. And there's actual
everywhere at once.
proof of this in the game. This is what's cool. It's not just the dev saying this. Like if you watch Cloud, I think it's Cloud or Zack cuts off Bizarro Sephiroth's horn, and then you see it cuts to Barrett, and the horn flies off, and it's like it's happening at the same moment. They're all fighting. So that's the only reason we can beat him. He's so powerful. There's like Zack, Cloud, two monsters, like super powerful people, plus the entire party. Yuffie, Tifa, like everybody's fighting him at the same time. It's the only reason we can like delay him for a second and kind of push him back. And then Aerith shows up too with the White Whispers. Like, oh by the way, the White Whispers are assaulting Sephiroth as we're fighting him, which we now know is Aerith fighting him. Right? Did you see that? Bizarre Sephiroth in the first form, he's like, ah, and there's like whispers and a tornado around him, the White Whispers. So it's like Aerith instantly died, and it's just in the live stream, like fighting back and stuff. It's awesome.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's almost like Sephiroth is telling Cloud, how cute of you to try to change fate. This is this is my domain.
Right, as if he couldn't foresee that Cloud would try and stop him. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
And let's be realistic, like, what does Sephiroth care about you going like and blocking his sword? Like he's so powerful. Like he can do whatever he wants, to the point where, like Aaliyah said too, he might have just kind of like shifted worlds. Oh, let me just go to this one where she dies. Yeah, like he can do anything he wants. You know, it's terrifying, and that's what makes him such a scary villain in this. Like he's both like less evil and more evil in the trilogy, which I love. You know what I mean? I feel like he's less kind of like mwahaha, and he's more like this lofty figure that is just untouchable. And like you don't know the extent of his power, which makes him really scary. Like when he sees Zack and he's like, you want a piece of me? And he's just like, no, cuts a hole in the world and just dumps him out of the world. He was just like, I don't remember putting you here. Anyways, get him out of here. Let's move him out of this world. Like it's just so crazy what he's able to do, which is cool because at the same time, Aerith pushes Cloud out of the world in this like white portal, which is what happens at the end of Remake. You see, they're getting visual echoes. Sephiroth cuts open a portal with the Masamune, with the Black Whispers. Aerith kind of like cleanses it and then goes through. So cool, man, how this is all tying together.
Dan said in the Loveless play, Cloud gets 2 swords when fighting the Dragon King, symbolic of Cloud and Zack fighting together.
That's I like cool. that. Yeah, that's awesome. That's dope. That's so cool. And also, like, yeah, again, if we're gonna get into our list a little bit more, I guess, but like the main theme what I wanted to say today is how it's tying into everything. Advent Children. Speaking of Cloud and Zack fighting together, when you see Zack, the end of Advent Children, when he shows up to Cloud in the dream world, like Cloud's still seeing Zack, and he says like, hey, you need a hand? Or you got him? And he's just like, I got him, and fights. It's like, yeah, because he helped him out before. He helped him out in that other fight. It's so cool, you know?
It's so cool.
Right? It's just
also
insane.
Zack is completely goated.
Yes.
The fact that he was just pushed into a different realm and he just rocks with it.
Yeah,
rolls with the punches.
Zack is that's real exactly. This is what I'm trying to get people behind, and you know I hear no one else talking about this, so make sure to credit me, like credit us. Like it's just it's clarifying everything, and the cool thing is talking about Advent Children. Again, try to think of it more retroactively as opposed to like, oh, this is new stuff. I'm confused. I don't know where this is going. What is all this? You know, think of the most simple answer, which is, guys, what does Cloud see in Advent Children? He's driving through the Forgotten Woods, and then he's just talking to Aerith in a white place. The same way he talks to Aerith when he fights Sephiroth, and they clasp hands behind each other. It's the same shot, back to back with Aerith. So, like, guys, once Cloud has been transported to this world and kind of like dipped into these different worlds, like the wormhole, again, end of Final Fantasy VII, he goes through the wormhole to the edge of creation. Like, Cloud can see these other worlds now, man. He sees a rift in the sky at the end of Rebirth. You see what I'm saying? Like, so like Aerith and Zack, that's what's happening, man. That's the Zack who's in this dream world. That's the Aerith that's here. It's just explaining away all that and clarifying everything and expanding it so it makes more sense and is like, you know, kind of full circle. Now, when you watch Advent Children at the end of the thing, you're going to be like, oh my God.
It all ties in.
Yeah. That's what I encourage you. Go watch it now and you'll be like, oh my goodness, Zack asks if he wants help.
Yes.
Zack, and honestly, Zack might be fighting Sephiroth at the same time, that other world. Like, who knows? It's really cool. But yeah, and that was another connection I made, again, sort of clarifying OG. And that's what I want to say again, like it's strengthening OG, not doing the opposite, kind of like taking away stuff and cherry picking. And again, for people who lamented like, oh, I want to see Aerith lowered into the lake, totally relevant. Like, yeah, you'll be seeing that for sure at some point.
Yeah. What do you think about the rift in the sky?
Oh, that's exactly what I think it is, right? I think that Cloud now, because he's either, has been transported there by Aerith and had that date, or because somebody said in chat because the black materia, it could be. That's another great idea. It could just be because of, what happened to him.
Fate being tampered with, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe it could be fate being tampered with him when he split when he stopped Sephiroth's sword, a golden light did appear, right? Which signifies a new world being created, right? So that could very well be. He created his own weird dream world that he's like half in right now. That's why he sees Aerith, who's not there. Nobody else sees her. And that's why the party is there. So yeah, I think it's going to tie into that. And honestly, I think that that's going to be the case, that Cloud is still in this kind of like interstice. Think of like Guts, like Berserk, right? Like Guts exists both in the spiritual realm and the physical realm, Berserk, because he has the brand, which is like a connection to the spiritual realm. Right, so he's able to like interact with beings and like see stuff that's not there and like fight demons and stuff. Right, it makes sense, and I think that he's still in that. Cloud is still in that in Advent Children. He's just there, and then I think that dream world, like much like Xanarkand, is still there until the end of Advent Children when they walk away. Cloud and Aerith, or Zack and Aerith, they go.
That's a great point.
They go somewhere,
Yes, I love that, darling.
Thank you. Maybe. Love. Thank you.
Maybe. And going off of what you said, it's just like so much, space-time, timey-wimey stuff going on. Like things are being interfered with. Biggs is like, why am I here? What's going on? He knows something's wrong. There are people that are alive that are maybe not supposed to be, or dead when they're not supposed to be, and Cloud is being pulled into different worlds. So I mean, again, that could have to do with like everything must be a little bit unstable. So maybe that's another reason totally. For the rift, that something isn't, things are getting tampered with a little too much.
Totally. And I also love the idea, again, back to education, I love the idea that at the end of the remake trilogy we'll see that again, connection back to OG and clarification, whatever. He goes through that wormhole thing. He finally goes there and he's like, this is it. Like, this is the true, like he says in OG, like the settling of everything with Sephiroth. Like, this is it, man. We're going to go there. And Sephiroth's going to give his third and final plea, Cloud to join him. And then Cloud is going to say something and he's going to fight him and it's going to be awesome, right? So yeah, I can't
wait.
It's so exciting. It's really exciting.
It reminds me, I told you this a few hours ago. I called Philip and I was like, yes, let me know if this sounds idiotic, but let me just test it out on you.
Never.
So we talk about Sephiroth's omnipresence in all these different worlds, which is fascinating.
Cool, yeah.
And I asked you a few questions. One question is like, okay, do we know that there's one live stream shared amongst these different worlds? You say yes.
I say yeah. I say it's one live stream just because Sephiroth literally says like all these dreams, they eventually return back, and he says if this world were to die, so too would her children in remake, and they drop that line again in Rebirth in like a flashback. So it's one live stream. Like they're gonna all have a homecoming, as he says. At least that's my thought. It's my opinion.
Yeah. So this whole time I'm thinking, Sephiroth. We already know Sephiroth is very goated, but he's bringing these worlds into a reunion, which to me, I'm like, how the heck is this happening? Maybe I shouldn't think too hard about it. But he said this line. What did he say? Where is it? Oh yeah, he said, "My fragmented mother, these errant worlds, all shall be one again." We do know that Jenova, perhaps like Sephiroth, is omnipresent. I mean, if Jenova has to be omnipresent, like, you know what I mean? Sort of existing.
It makes sense for the shenanigans she pulled over the history, yeah. Yeah.
So what if, because her cells exist on these other worlds technically, I mean, does Zack have Jenova cells?
This is listen up, man. This theory by Leah is so good, guys. Right? So yeah, Zack has Jenova cells, right? Yeah.
Hear me out. Yeah. So Zack has Jenova cells. We know that everything converges to point A, which is Jenova. So technically,
Hojo's reunion theory. Yeah.
Yeah, Hojo's reunion theory. if everything converges to point A, if everything converges to point A, then of course the planets would come with it, right?
That's the multiverse theorists crying out.
That was my brain thinking about
their rapture. They're screaming. They're screaming from your theories, Phil. Stop. No, they want a multiverse. Yeah. No, listen, as you guys hear this theory, it's so good. So yeah, Zack has Jenova cells. He's in a different dream world. He theoretically has to return to Jenova. Right? There's one life stream. There's one Jenova. Do you think that's why Sephiroth brought Zack to the world? Because he wants Zack for the reunion? Because Zack has Jenova cells? The reunion of worlds? To bring Jenova back together?
Yeah.
It's such a good
You said it much better than I did.
Aaliyah's cooking, man.
You said it a lot better. But yeah, I mean, I just think, okay, you could think technically, okay, Sephiroth is just very powerful. He can bring worlds together. However, scientifically, if A plus B equals C, if all the cells from Jenova need to come together to point A, there's only one Jenova, and all these different worlds contain Jenova-celled individuals, then they must all converge at one time, which means I suppose their planets are coming with them. If there's Jenova cells on these planets, might as well just converge them all into one.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Bring the infected.
Yeah.
But
and also you have to ask yourself, like, why does Sephiroth want to have the reunion? And again, they've hinted at it in Rebirth a little bit that he wants to kind of rule over eternity. He wants to just bring everything. It's very Final Fantasy VIII, I think, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The idea of almost like time compression with Ultimecia. She wants to just compress all time and just rule over every being of all time at the same time. It's a cool idea. And also to stop time in some weird way. So I think it would be awesome if Sephiroth does that, and maybe that's part of it, bringing all pieces of Jenova together. Terrifying.
Yeah. I don't know. I love the idea.
It's a great idea. No, you're cooking with that one. It's awesome. This is what I was saying. It's
you
so
made it sound
cool
cooler than I.
Well, no, I was just like, I know the lore so dang well that I can probably just say it faster, but like, no, that's your idea completely. And also, this is what I was saying. I love having Aaliyah, who's, a little bit newer of a fan, because a lot of us old fans, we are too stuck in these sort of old ways and the old thoughts of the original game. And again, I love the game to death. It is so charming. It's a masterpiece in its own right. But replaying it, I think probably like the 10th time, just recently again with Aaliyah here, again, the second time I've replayed it, like post Rebirth or remake trilogy and everything. And like, man, it is so busy. Like we said earlier, the plot just like explodes at the end of the game. It's very, very quick. It's very, very minimalist, especially playing it in like a speedrun style. Oh, absolutely. Man, it is so kind of just like really quick and very terse as it covers like very complex stuff, very, very hard to explain stuff. So I love that the trilogy is taking the time mostly to like see the characters through this and everything, which is really good. But yeah, I'm so excited. I think it's great to have. It
speaks to great writing too.
It does, but it also speaks to how smart you are, because it's like, man, she's thinking of stuff that no one else has. But it's cool because she has a different perspective than all of us. That's why it's important to have you in this conversation.
It's also very lucky to have a lore master to tell me, back up the evidence.
Hey, like I always joke, this is the one thing that I consider myself a lore master of is Final Fantasy, because I cover stuff on YouTube that's like Genshin and Warcraft. I'm by no means even a lore casual in some of those. They taught me Warcraft, which is amazing, but like, I don't know too much.
I mean, it's great. I can call you at like 2 a.m. with crazed.
I love when you do that.
Yeah, and then you'll just be like, in chapter 4 of this, that, you know everything.
No, I love our conversations about it. Yeah, it's amazing.
I think Sephiroth's being used. Yeah, and you can also think of it like Jenova's still pulling the strings. She could. Yep. She already knows that she has cells in different area codes. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So just bring it all back together, and here's Sephiroth, one of my pawns, helping me out with that. So,
it's so cool,
you can think of it a bunch of different ways. Sure.
Totally. Yeah. No, it's so good. Like, it's been so great sharing all this with you. Why don't we look back at our document? I think we've like covered a bunch of parts of it kind of randomly. Let's scroll down a little bit. Jenova's playing 5D chess. We covered that, right? That was awesome. I love that. OG Sephiroth. Death versus Rebirth. Aerith. Oh yeah, we said that right. Her true self and his true self, right? Yeah. You talked about the glitching, which I love. Final Fantasy X parallel. I talked about it a little bit, but yeah, that's the first thought I had, guys, was Final Fantasy X, and I don't hear anybody else really talking about it, and this is it. You know, use me as an example when you bring it up and just say like, yeah, this is it, guys. Yes, a dream world. Do you think Jenova Reunited will be a boss fully emerged? I do. I think Jenova Complete, right? We just fought her at the end of
Complete.
OG. Yeah, for sure, Josh. I think that's going to be an awesome thing. And I think, again, when I talk about the original, the boss is called Jenova Complete. So we can guess that's okay because the reunion happened. I guess she's full piece now. This is her full body. I mean, I guess. But it's never explained, right? It's just like, yeah, this is Jenova Complete. You fight her now. It's a really cool song by Nobuo Uematsu. Can you just listen to it and you fight her? And this, I feel like we're probably going to see during the reunion or post, like, full Jenova. And also, this is what I want to talk about, like how minimalist the ending is. Sephiroth does not speak one word after the reunion, after the North credit. He doesn't say anything. At the end of the game, he just sits there. And it's awesome. It's kind of cool. It's kind of scary. He's just all powerful. He's just like, they literally say, this is his power. He's out of our league. Oh my God, we can't even touch him. Like, what are we going to do? But yeah, I think it's going to be really good to kind of clarify so much more with both Jenova and Sephiroth at the end. And I personally would love to see Jenova complete. I want to see Jenova speak, man.
Oh my God, yeah.
I want to see her get like stand up and be like, I am complete now, and just like deceive people and like kind of get out there, because she did that to the ancients. She's not just like a thing that sits there and stares at you. She deceived them, stole the faces of their brothers and sisters, like confused them all and everything, turned them against each other. That is terrifying. It's terrifying. Can you imagine the hype of seeing, and this is another cool, whatever Phillips theory or idea you want to say, imagine Jenova complete, fully solidifies after the reunion, gets out of the tank, or, you know, she stands up and starts walking around and like says, my son, and like hugs Sephiroth. That'd be terrifying. Oh, God. So disturbing. Like, because they need to, I think it'd be cool. I think it's a lost opportunity not to pay off the creepy scene when Sephiroth first sees her in Nibelheim. And he's just like, mother, we'll be together forever. And it's just like this, rips the thing to pieces, and you see her there in the tank. It's like so cool. What a cool dynamic. It's so cool for him to be this like kind of, yes, mother character. I think it's a lost opportunity not to explore that more, because he's such an interesting character. And we just never see anything on that again. Never mentioned again, never touched upon. And obviously he takes control of her powers and uses them, but like, oh, it'd be so good, right? Can you imagine?
It'd be so sick. Oh my gosh.
I want to see that. And like maybe talk about the trials, right? Maybe before you fight her in the center of the planet, she hits everybody with like, you know, one more round of insane hallucinations, just like causing him pain, whatever. Has like Marlene, you know, yelling at Barrett to try and upset him or something. Like, that could be terrifying. And then they're all just like, no, you know, we know this isn't it. And then they all fight it. Oh, that'd be so awesome.
That would be so sick. Oh gosh.
Hey, call it another Philip possibilities.
Idea. Yeah. From Philip himself.
Hey, we know Yoshi P watches the stream. So maybe no more. Like I said, hey, it made it into Ever Crisis, the Masamune ideas.
Yes. There's just so many possibilities. And it's such a low, there's so much to cover. I mean, good Lord.
And that's, also, I think it's like somebody mentioned fan service, like all the fan service. I think that's the opposite, man. Like to see that sort of thing is like finally paying off the sort of richness of the characters and everything. Like I would love to see Sephiroth explored more. Again, his more human side, whatever you want to say, his more human side. I think it'd be so cool. Right.
Yeah. I hope I would love for them to sort of open it up after, maybe after his death. I don't know. Maybe after we see his face bloodied up, or like,
that would be cool.
Oh God, he has.
Ooh, that'd be terrifying.
He's, you know,
that would be
like
awesome.
Just a flash or something, a flash of him before everything.
Yeah. That could be so sad too. Also, I just thought of another idea. How cool would it be if Sephiroth, I mean, it doesn't really work if we looking at, I do think it's going to lead into Advent Children and like make Advent Children make more sense. But what if it doesn't? And what if, let's just talk crazy theories. What if Sephiroth like kills Jenova after he's ascended, like, you know, full one-winged angel mode? Like he's Bizarre Sephiroth, he's up there, it's near the end of the game, and he's just like, I don't need you anymore. So that'd be also really scary in its own right. Oh but I think that doesn't make sense, right? Because he's too lonely, and he is only latched onto his mother. So I don't think he would actually do that after he's discarded humanity as beneath him. So it wouldn't really make sense to do that. But it could be cool.
That would be cool.
Sephiroth meets Lucretia. That would be awesome. That would be good. Give us that.
I think you should. Yeah. Isn't she?
Ooh.
She's just like.
She's in that cave. You remember?
Yeah, she's like just chilling there, right?
She's just chilling. Yeah, you just saw it in OG on the side quest. Right? We go there. She's like, oh, Vincent, I've been dreaming of my son Sephiroth who died. Like,
yeah,
tell me he's alive. And it's like, oh, she doesn't even know if he's alive. Man, Hojo really is a monster.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, really is a monster.
Man, I cannot wait to see Lucretia.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, for sure. Yeah, it's gonna be. Oh, that's the one thing too. We got to play Dirge of Cerberus, or at least watch it. It's an experience. Yeah,
I would love to. So
yeah,
let me see. Yolo asked about the clear versus white, or the white materia turning clear and then back.
Yes, Alchemist. What was the question? Why don't you take it, Aaliyah?
I have a question for both of you. What do you think of the empty white materia that Cloud keeps at the end of Rebirth? We learn that, hold on, in the Nibelheim flashback, that materia is crystallized lifestream, but if it's been emptied of its knowledge and memories, then how come it didn't dissipate and disappear? How come it is still tangible? Also, what do you think of its role in part 3?
Well, I like to think about it like this, right? When you just said that, what is the black materia? It is like the most powerful, insane materia that the Gi tribe made to destroy the entire planet. Like it is the solidification of hatred and revenge and all their negative memories, and they call it the materia of peace because it's going to give them peace. So then, therefore, what is holy? They said in the OG, when we went to the music box and did all the cool stuff in City of the Ancients, that holy is like the opposite. It's like pretty much the most powerful thing that the ancients created, right? To protect. So it's like, okay, I feel like, yeah, even if it was kind of drained of power because Sephiroth took that power, which, by the way, if I didn't explain this yet, so the materia is the knowledge. We know this, right? Like you just said, it's solidification of knowledge of the planet, right? Materia, knowledge of the ancients. So when Sephiroth absorbs the whispers at the end, Aerith says in Rebirth that the whispers stole her knowledge. She doesn't really have that connection to the planet anymore. That's when the thing goes dark. That's when the thing loses its luster. So Sephiroth literally took her knowledge out of it, which, if it is the ultimate materia of the ancients, that's it, man. That's the ultimate knowledge of the ancients, holy. So that's what Sephiroth took. And that's why he can do all this stuff and control the whispers and recreate his body and everything. So that's my opinion. Then why is it empty? Well, you got to ask yourself, like, what? Maybe it has another sort of backup plan or something. It's like the ultimate materia of the ancients. It's not just like, oh yeah, Fire 3 materia that's like maxed out or whatever. Like this is it's not just a spell, right? Because we see it at the end of OG. It's this big kind of thing that actually makes it worse, crazy enough. But it's just like this, and we'll talk more about that later. That was on our list. But like, right, it's got to have another purpose. And obviously, I think the devs making it that Cloud's like looking at the end. And if you pay attention, there's some very clever shots in there. I'm going to do a full cinematic shot-for-shot breakdown soon on this, so stay tuned for that. But at the end, Cloud is holding it, and then he very cleverly rotates the sphere, and you see there's like a split in the middle, and there's a cloud on top and a cloud on the bottom. So it's expressing that, like, two things, sort of like metaphorically speaking, that like Cloud is kind of split. He's living in two worlds at the same time, man. He's seeing Aerith, and he's also like in the real world with Sid and all those guys, but they don't see Aerith. So that's what I'm telling you, man. That's a metaphorical. Thank you. That's a metaphorical explanation of why Cloud can see Zack and Aerith and Advent children, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like that is what all this is. Like it's simplifying. It's not complicating everything. It's clarifying everything. But yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. And then on the second hand, what it also means is that you can look at it in a literal sense. It's like, wait, is this the power of that orb? Right? These worlds started appearing theoretically when it lost its power, right? When Sephiroth absorbed the whispers, that's around the time that these worlds were created. So it's like, okay, maybe it has some sort of tying in. Maybe that's why Cloud can see into Aerith's world, because she gave him the empty one. That might be the power of it, right? That's why she can. That's why you can see Zack and Aerith, because if I'm doing my math right, he had it before the fight at the end, and it's only Cloud that got transported to the edge of creation, fought with Zack, like next to him, and then also was able to like fight sort of with Zack. Do you remember when you used the synergy attack as Zack? I think it's like together as one, and then you see like a phantom Cloud like fighting with him.
One.
You see what I'm saying? So I feel like that could actually be the power of the drained one. He's like, that's his connection to Aerith, Dream World, also all these things. So yeah, again, I feel like it could also be her secret weapon. Aerith gave that to Cloud, and from our perspective, it's like, oh yeah, she just like switched it. So I don't know, she'll give him that one as a consolation prize. Like, no. You see what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a consolation prize. Like she got her one back, but then she gave him that for a reason. So yeah, I think it's most likely something like that. I think, yeah, again, looking back, man, he had that one because she in the forest switches it one more time and says, I'll handle Sephiroth. Thanks for the switch. That cheeky little switch. And even Sephiroth is like poor form, but I think honestly his arrogance got him there. Because I remember thinking like he knows that they did that and he didn't just like, not allow that. So I think what happened is he's like, it doesn't matter, who cares? But he may have actually discounted the fact that there was a full one and a drained one. Because he's the one who drained it. He's probably like, I'll just do it again. Who cares? So I don't know. I think we're on to something there, guys.
Yeah, I think you're cooking.
Like I said, this is the only theory talk you'll need. Yeah. Until the next game. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
A lot of
there's a black materia. There's a black materia which he cheekily
and
away.
He has the black materia. Yeah, he has the meteor materia, which is terrifying. And he is just so far gone to the end that he just slams it into his Buster Sword and hides it. Oh so, man.
What the heck does that mean? What is that? I don't know. There's so many questions.
Well, here's the thing.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But here's the thing. In the original, again, don't overcomplicate is what I would tell people who are like losing it at that. I think you can agree with me now that they're covering the story of the original, at least in broad strokes, right? There's obviously awesome new scenes. Like I said, I think they're all just clarifying stuff from OG and expanding really cool storylines and characters like Zack and Sephiroth. But like, I think we can all agree that the third game is going to show the scenes of we're going to go to Rocket Town. We're going to go to, and you can't tell me at this point that it's just going to be crazy. It's going to be off the rail. So you have to remember that Cloud gives the black materia to Sephiroth at the Northern Crater. So he's got to have it, right? He's got to have it. So let's look at that as the most simple answer, like Occam's razor, right? Like that's why he's got it, because he has to give it to him. You can look at it at another layer as like, okay, we saw him give it to Sephiroth at the Temple of Ancients. Like, why does Cloud have it now? Well, if you look at it, the black materia is sort of not replete when he first gets it. After Sephiroth picks it up, it becomes robust. Like this red lightning starts going off inside of it. It's the red lightning that you see on Meteor, by the way. We just played the ending. It's the red lightning of Meteor. Cool touch. But then Sephiroth has it, and it's like, oh, Cloud already screwed up. He literally pretty much threatens Aerith. It's like, I'm going to kill you. So she just gives it to him. Very wise. If you've seen the OG, he takes it, gives it to Sephiroth. But what does Sephiroth say to Cloud when he says, this is the nature of all reality, and explains it to him? He says, I give you my blessing. So I think that's where Sephiroth gives his blessing to Cloud now that he's like charged it up and gets it back to him. But I need you guys to understand one more thing. Okay. The reason that Cloud has it is he actually hasn't given it to Sephiroth yet, guys. Sephiroth's up in the crystal. See what I'm saying? Right? That's the actual Sephiroth body. That's Sephiroth reborn. That's Bizarro Sephiroth with no legs, only the torso. So Cloud has to get it up to him. You see what I'm saying? So now that he has it and it's fully charged up, he has to give it back to Cloud because there's no body there.
You're cooking with high heat.
Dan said Cloud was imagining. Yes and no, because I think the others did see Sephiroth there, but it's a Jenova illusion. Like, he's not actually there, He's controlling people in the black cloaks to appear as Sephiroth. Yeah, he's going to take it up and he's going to give it to... Sephiroth wants it on his real body, not there. So, yeah. That's it, man.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Indeed. What do you got?
I'm curious how it... I'm not sure. I'm just curious. I have no idea. But I'm curious to see how it has an effect on like the sword itself and his fighting style, maybe. I don't know.
That would be awesome.
There's a lot of different, what if he starts fighting differently? Who knows?
That would be really cool. It could also explain why he gets new limit breaks. What if they did a dark spin on the limit breaks of it'd be, if we look at limit break level 3, it's going to be Meteor Rain and Finishing Touch. Yes, I was just playing today. Meteor Rain and Finishing Touch are the level 3 limit breaks. Omni Slash is level 4. So think about it. What if there's like a dark spin on those? If they're kind of like Sephiroth, how he's like executing people in the Temple of the Ancient stuff, just like crazy off the rail. I mean, he's bananas at the end of Rebirth, by the way. He's talking to Aerith outside the thing. They're probably like, who is he talking to? Looking at, it's really bad. So yeah, what if they did a dark spin on those? Like they're really violent or something. I think could be cool. And it's like because the black materia is in there.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I'm so excited. There's so many possibilities. Like a dark sword, a dark buster sword.
Yeah.
And it's so cool.
Josh has an idea that might open up some cool conversation. He says at the end he thinks there's going to be new stuff, like super new stuff. It's going to finish off the saga, and I think he means by extension finish off like post Advent Children, post Third to Cerberus, like bow tying the entire thing. Sephiroth's gone forever. Like, what are our thoughts on that? So I think if they do it, which I think they should do something to kind of give clarity to Advent Children and to Dirge of Cerberus even. I think if they do it, like I said before, it's going to be, I don't know if vague is the right word, but I think it's going to be kind of a nod to those of us who have played the entire stuff. Because remember, this is not a trilogy just for us. That's the one thing you got to remember. And I think it'll also provide you much more enjoyment if you do not look at Rebirth as only additive. It is not just like a supplemental thing to OG for the fans. Like you have to look at it as its own thing. Yes. Right? So what I'm saying is I think they'll probably do it in a sort of vague way that like we'll be like, oh, us like lore master super fans will be like, oh my goodness, that is a bow tie. That is like, again, I was talking to Baby Seal and Night Sky Prince. They had some cool theories too, and they said they want some sort of payoff was the word they used, like at the end. We want a little bit more payoff for all these cool things. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be more like that though, as opposed to like, okay, anyway, we time skip to like post Dirge of Cerberus, and here's this thing. I don't think it's going to be so like kind of outside of what they've established, if that makes sense. I think it's going to work within everything that they're building up. And I do think you'll get ample payoff and a bow tie in a way, for sure. But I don't think it's going to be like this kind of separate, different thing. Subtext, what's going on? Subtext, oh, you missed some bombs, man. You got to go back. This is the only theory talk you'll ever need. Yeah, we just figured out the whole thing. Yeah. My arm for an adult. And this is what's so cool. Like me and you are the ultimate team on this, Leah, because again, I'm like old school. And I'm telling you, most of us who have played the original
You're the sage, and I'm the Padawan.
No, you saved us is what I'm saying. Like most of us who played the original, we're just lost in the sauce, man. Like we're so obsessed with the OG and kind of like what we think needs to happen. And I've figured out the most and kind of like made the most connections when I'm thinking of it as its own story. And it's been really good. So you are the chosen one, Aaliyah.
But adult Marlene would be cool. Or how is it, 500 years in the future?
Yes, end? 500 years in the future. Yeah, at the end.
I would love to see a Final Fantasy set 500 years in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, don't worry, sick. Subtext. I'll post this after. This is actually only on Twitch right now. We'll post it as a YouTube video after. The Legend of Reeve. Yeah. It's like a Twitch theory reunion, indeed. Good to see you, Subtext, yeah. But no, we're really doing, why don't we go back to our list, Aaliyah, unless you want to go more on what we were talking about. So we have some great thoughts. Let's keep going through everything. 5D chess.
This is fun.
This is so much fun. Oh man, I'm so glad we did this. And we were saying, it's like, we've never done a thing like this. We really should.
We never do.
Now that you're a lore giant in yourself, Aaliyah.
Not a giant.
A giant so among men. I think Remember is a great name for the last game, yeah. Sephiroth Rebirth. Yeah. We talked about the revelations that I had about Sephiroth's true body, and oh man, I think that's so cool. I'm still getting chills thinking about it. Jenova's playing 5D chess. We talked about this. OG death versus Aerith parallels. Yep. The glitching. Sephiroth death and OG. Great. FF10 parallel. Like I said, I think the FF10 parallel is maybe the most important thing that I've had to say in my discussion so far. It's Xanarkin, man. It's a dream world. Obviously it's a little bit different, but think about it like that. It's a dream world that's fading away, you know? Everything is being explained and expanded. Finally, all makes sense again. That is the most important thing. No more ambiguity in the story. I just played the original, guys. It is a charming mess. Love it to death. But man, especially disc 2 and 3 are just like, literally Aaliyah just watched me. She was watching that, but then she had just played Rebirth. And she was still at times like, wait. Can I ask you a question? Like, what just happened? Because again, when I'm talking about it, I'm even like, I was literally explaining to Aaliyah how Sephiroth reconstructed his body, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, it's not explained at all. Like, it's not explained in any capacity. Like, this is just us over the years, like piecing it all together. So yeah, it's a charming mess. It finally is making sense with Remake and Rebirth. Not the opposite. It is not just like adding a bunch of stuff that makes no sense on top of it.
Yes, it's all coming together.
It's coming together. Reflection. Oh, this is great. So let's talk about this. Aaliyah had some amazing revelations on this. Let's talk about it.
You're all so kind. So I do like what you said about the clear materia, because I think it ties.
I think we figured something out on that, guys. I think I nailed it.
You cooked.
I think we really figured it all out with the clear materia.
Yeah, cooked on high heat. But the clear materia, reflections. I think what I love so much about Final Fantasy VII is reflections or opposites.
Yep.
And I first thought of this when we saw in Rebirth, Barrett and Dyne. And Dyne, man, that flashback.
Dude, what Aaliyah said gave me chills. Yeah.
Oh literally my God, they're holding hands, and it's their final. It's like their final act of friendship before Shinra splits it apart. You know, and from that point on, their destinies completely split. They're reflections of each other. I especially liked when Barrett and Dyne face each other again. They point their arms at each other.
Yep.
It's literally like looking in a mirror. It's literally a reflection. And I'm like, the only thing that, you know, differentiates Barrett and Dyne, honestly, is Marlene. Without Marlene in Barrett's life, he'd be in the same dang place as Dyne. So I think it's so interesting that Final Fantasy VII keeps going with the parallels. We have Dyne and Barrett. We have Hojo versus Gast. You know, we don't really need to elaborate on that, I'm sure. But Sephiroth and Aerith, maybe.
Yep.
I'm thinking Sephiroth versus Aerith, or even Cloud versus Sephiroth in many ways. But
totally. Yeah. No, your parallels thing is so strong. The Barrett,
Cloud and Zack, of course.
Yeah, Cloud and Zack. I mean, the Barrett Dyne shot when, you know, they walk out of the shed, like you were just saying, and you see like he's leaning on him. You got a gun arm on each side, opposite. Oof. Chills, man. And that's what's, again, more sophisticated about Remake and Rebirth as opposed to the OG. Like, you can use the tools of the craft of the format to achieve stuff like that, and it's just so nice. It's so amazing. And then also Tifa and Scarlet for a parallel.
Yeah, Tifa and Scarlet.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that fight. Oh my God.
Yeah. You think the live stream sequence should be changed? No. It's probably one of the sequences. Yeah, it's too good. Aaliyah, you just saw the live stream sequence for the first time recently, right? When Cloud pieces back together with Tifa. Like, one of the best scenes in gaming
my God.
history.
So good. Yeah, it's amazing. And I really like, this reminds me of something else that we were thinking about. How is Cloud so busted? And it's 7 years ago.
Oh, here's the conversation.
That he took Sephiroth out. What the heck happened there? Like,
this is the one thing I think to this day, and again, any other lore master join me on this, that is not explained. And I think it really is just kind of like something special about Cloud. Like he cares. I think what makes Cloud special is he cares so much about his loved ones. So the idea that Sephiroth killed his mom, as far as Cloud knew, killed Tifa, destroyed his entire village. What does Cloud say in Advent Children, man? He cherishes everything. Sephiroth says, "What do you cherish most? Let me take it away." He says, "I cherish everything. That's what you don't get." And then he destroys him. What you don't get,
baby.
He literally levels up, even though he's half dead. He got stabbed like 40 times by Sephiroth, and he levels up. And he has this kind of like near-death experience thing that always happens whenever Sephiroth stabs him, where he just goes bananas. Mom lifting car energy. That's funny.
Oh my God.
That is a wild comparison, but it's true. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the power of friendship is stronger than any power. But I think what I'm so excited for the third game is to really dive into how powerful Tifa is. Tifa is honestly the strength that lifts Cloud's sword up. I think like and this is my personal headcanon for how Cloud was able to do this big feat is the promise. You know, when Tifa's like, "No, Cloud, what you don't understand, you fought." You know what I mean? Like, you fought for me. You fulfilled that promise. I think he really takes promises, and which I think is great, because promises to keep is the theme to this game. But in many ways, promises are so important, especially to Cloud. It seems like even if his mind is, corrupted or melting down, he still took that promise so seriously. I really feel like he, okay, this is right after Sephiroth messed up Tifa. I really think this is like his moment to make that up to her, fulfill his promise to her.
Yeah.
I will come rescue you. I'm going to take this B word out, you know, and, you know, the rest is history. But that's my headcanon. I'm not sure.
No, I love it. Yeah, and again, that's one of the only things that to this day the lore masters have no, like, there's no definitive answer, which I think that one is kind of cool. But I do think they might touch on it on Remake and Rebirth, and it could be tied into, at least in the later story, that he is like connected to these other worlds, or maybe like his true self or something.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Cloud's true self is actually OP, like the one that defeats Sephiroth and kills Sephiroth, but
yes,
he's not his true self, right? And Rebirth, at that point of the story, he's not. So I think when he gets his true self to the live stream, it's not cool, badass Cloud. It's just like goofy, you know, quiet guy. And this is what's interesting about Advent Children, guys, is a lot of people say, oh man, they mischaracterized Cloud and Advent Children and made him emo and stuff. He's not emo, man. He's just quiet. Like, what does Tifa say about Cloud? It's like, yeah, he never really hung out with us. He's just quiet. And Cloud said, like, I wanted to hang out with you guys. I just didn't know what to say. Like, I was quiet. That's Cloud, man. And Advent Children, that's the real him. He's just quiet. And obviously he's emo. He's depressed as heck. He thinks he, you know, responsible for his friends' deaths. Everybody in Midgard died, like, when Meteor hit. Like, there's so much that went wrong with Cloud. Like, you know, he thinks he's gonna die from geostigma. Like, he's really struggling, man. So I think he has the right to be a little bit down in Advent Children as well. What if Cloud's true self is in the live stream? Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say live stream, but it's definitely this kind of dream world. Again, guys, look at the forest. I said it 90 million times in my reaction to the ending. If you want my fresh thoughts on it, but like the Aerith scene in the forest, guys, it's just an expansion of that idea. Aerith makes a dream world to talk to Cloud, or enters his dream or something, but she communicates with him. Sephiroth drops down into the same dream. It's got to be a place, right? It's got to be a place. So that happened in the original, and nobody was like, multiverse baloney. I hate this. This is Marvel. Like, nobody said that. And it's the same exact thing. It's all in there, guys. It's all been in the original. Now it's clarified. It makes sense, and let's play around with it. Okay, what if Sephiroth was trying to make a reunion of worlds because he needs all the Jenova cells in every world, including Zack, who's dead. So let's put him here. So like Aaliyah said, this is Aaliyah's theory. He can come back to the world and complete Jenova for the true reunion of all worlds and all the cells in her body.
I just had a brain blast.
She cooked on that. Tell me she didn't cook on that.
I just had a brain blast, though. Okay, hear me out. Sephiroth what Cloud did to him 7 years back. He used the power of love.
Cloud doesn't know that right now.
Cloud doesn't know that. And he's using that against him, okay? So Cloud used the power of love and promises kept to overthrow Sephiroth just like in, 5 seconds?
Yeah.
What does Sephiroth constantly gaslight Cloud into thinking that he has no feelings? Because he knows if he does...
He can destroy Sephiroth.
Yes, when he does feel that love,
Aaliyah's
he does fulfill those promises, he is more powerful than Sephiroth. When he uses love to fight.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Aaliyah's rich. Sephiroth has to have Cloud thinking he's an empty puppet.
Yes. So why is he gaslighting him?
The moment he gets his truth, his feelings back, he can just one-shot him.
Exactly. Because during Rebirth, during the ending, I'm like, no offense, Sephiroth, but why do you care so much that Cloud is like depressed? I mean, I understand why he wants to keep his enemy down, but it all comes back 7 years ago. How did Cloud defeat Sephiroth? I still think it's a promise. I think he's using love. Like, I don't know.
This is why I love Aaliyah right here.
I love you too, darling.
She's the best girl on earth. She can do all that and still have the ultimate FF7 theory. Just pull it out like that.
Yeah.
No, that is mind-blowing, Aaliyah. I think you just figured it out.
It's just a theory. It's just a theory, guys.
I told you, only stream you'll ever need to watch for theories.
It's just a theory.
You heard it here, guys. That is so hype.
And it also goes back to the power of love. Oh, how fitting. But Advent Children, how does Cloud defeat the enemy in the end? Power of friendship. All of his friends come help him.
Well, yeah, that, and it's also subtext like, oh, I'm done making videos. Aaliyah got it. Yeah. No, it's true. Me too. Let's all retire. No, it's
as someone who's cosplayed Sephiroth, I've gotten into his head.
Don't underestimate a cosplayer. He's become Sephiroth. Yeah.
Never trust a gaslighter. You know what I mean? He's the ultimate gaslighter. He's scared.
It's true.
Because Cloud is a lover boy in the end. He's a lover boy.
I thought I couldn't crush on you more, Leah, and here we are.
Oh.
But yeah, no, she's
you
right.
could help me.
In Advent Children method theory crafting, that's funny. He gets thrown, guys. He gets thrown up through the sky. Thrown. But she's talking about actually the ending too, is what we're saying. He gets lit up by Sephiroth, about to die again. And then it's actually Sephiroth defeats himself by saying, "What do you cherish most? Let me take it away." And Cloud's like, "Let's not go there again now."
Ooh, oh my God. But you cooked, and yes, because of course he wants to take his loved ones away because he can't fight with love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. It's that good. I can't believe, guys, we just figured out everything. Yeah, we figured out the empty materia. We figured out why Sephiroth is in the cloud. What is it?
And maybe that's why Sephiroth
what you got?
is so hell-bent on him having that black materia because, you know, it's going to keep him down. And that's why he tried to kill Tifa in the
weapon. Exactly.
In the weapon, because he's like,
the first thing
this girl is driving him. This girl is like, these promises, he's keeping them. All right?
Mm-hmm. It's so true. And I think also for what Cloud is for what Sephiroth is doing at Edge of Creation, where he says, "Join me, Cloud. Join me." I think he needs him to think he's an empty puppet and that he should just follow Sephiroth for whatever reason. Like, he doesn't want him to be himself. So for whatever reason that is, man, I don't know what's going to happen. That's why I'm curious after, but he also doesn't seem that concerned. Like when Cloud says, "That shit won't work on me anymore," when essentially gaslighting in the final battle. Sephiroth just laughs. He's just
is Tifa real? Was Tifa even there? What happened to Tifa? Gaslight.
Yeah. And listen, me and BGG, if you guys don't know, BGG02, awesome buddy of mine. He runs the biggest FF event on Twitch, the biggest Final Fantasy event on Twitch. We had a talk a couple of years ago about Remake. And one of the ideas that we talked about is like, yeah, man, the reason Sephiroth is obsessed with Cloud is Cloud is the only one who could defeat him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's the only one.
Yes.
Yeah, in his lonely world, it's the only person that can connect with him. Just as Jenova, like, he doesn't have any humans. So to him, like, Cloud is super interesting. You know, he's super fascinating, and he wants to most likely have him on his quest, which I think is so cool as a villain. You know, he's not threatened by him. He's just like, "Oh yeah, that guy's cool. He killed me.
Yeah,
amazing.
He killed me.
Yeah, it's so great.
Respect.
Respect. Gaslight girl boss Sephiroth. Yeah, for sure.
Love is Cloud's can of spinach in that moment. That's so funny.
It is. Yeah.
He literally turned into Popeye. That's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he tries to keep Cloud down and suppressed, muted. But we saw a bit of the true Cloud on the Gold Saucer dates, I will say.
Yes, we did. And Leah had a good thought on this. We really see a glimpse of true Cloud in the Yuffie date for sure.
Yeah, he's a goofball.
Yeah, we see it in. Oh, we should just talk about the dates really quick, dude. They are.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about how every date is just a 10 out of 10, like perfectly done. And here's the thing. We saw the Aerith and Tifa one and we're like, "Oh my God, it's 10 out of 10. So good." And then the Yuffie one blew our minds. We're like,
incredible.
What?
The writing was flawless.
It was so heartwarming, man. I can't believe it. And it was so good. But yeah, let's talk about it. So obviously the Aerith, I think the Aerith date.
My book fell.
Oh, it's okay. Is it all right? Did it break?
Oh no, it's
the law book. No, it's the sacred text. The sacred text. We need that. So anyway, let's talk about the Aerith. Then the Aerith date.
Oh my God,
is so well written.
Amazing.
It's a masterpiece. And like I said, she's coming to terms with it's so tragic, man. She's saying like, "I know it's not the real you." Why does she know it's not the real Cloud? Because she's in tune with the live stream again. By the way, Aerith's powers awaken during the song, during Loveless. All right, she gets full powered up at the Temple of Ancients and learns how to use the power, but it comes back to her in the performance. The live stream comes at her at the end. That ain't VR, and we see Biggs, Jesse, and Wedge. Not Jesse from the recording where she's in the cool dress. No. We see Biggs, Jesse, and Wedge from Remake.
Yeah,
that's live stream. Her powers reawakened because she just connected so much emotionally. So it's so good. But yeah, the Aerith date is so good, man.
So good.
She's realizing this is not the real Cloud. Like, I want to meet you so bad. I fell in love with Zack. I thought I was falling in love with you because I saw Zack. I want to love you, Cloud. Not this imitation of Zack, and not this because she knows what's going on with him. Her and Tifa have talked extensively behind the scenes. That's why it's so genius. Her and Tifa are discussing, okay, Cloud is in danger mentally. We can't be breaking it to him. let's try and figure this out. He thinks Tifa's an imposter. Like, what is happening? But yeah, she's I want to love Cloud, not this like kind of whatever. And she can't get through to him, which is so tragic. And she doesn't ever get to. That's what makes it so sad. But what she does get is they have this beautiful moment where they're like, but I'm still going to enjoy this moment with you. And we're going to have this fantasy, this kind of what if we could love each other moment. And it's just so beautiful. It's so tragic. And the way they do it.
I got chills, babe.
Yeah. And it's also cool because if Aerith just like, somebody say, I want to see a kiss. It kind of makes Aerith come off as it's weird. Like she knows it's him like emulating her ex-boyfriend who he heard say, Aerith is beautiful. That's my girlfriend. I love her very much. She's pretty. No, she's beautiful. Back in Midgard. That's what Zack says. And we see him say that. And then he's like, it's all become like Jenova uses that to kind of reconstruct his memory. So like kind of weird if Aerith just like, yeah, I'm going to make out with him and just like, make him mine. It's kind of like she knows more than him. It doesn't feel quite right, So I like that. And then the church scene, she just says like, yeah, there's liking. And then they hug and she says, thank you. It's like, she kind of realizes what's right. I think that's so beautiful. I think it's so beautiful. And then it's just so well shot. It's so well written to have this sad moment. And it's just like, what could have been type thing, And the same thing with the dream. She gets her date with him because they didn't really ever get a good date. Like they had, she said fighting the Turks and bodyguarding was a date. It's like, okay, that's kind of a crappy date. And then, gold saucer if he did it. But they get this dream date,
I absolutely love the dream date. I thought it was so
great.
Tragic. It's like, and it's sort of like a continuation off of the gold saucer date, which I also really loved. I thought it was super cute. It's just like two people getting away, escaping the noise, and just existing in this literally a bubble. It's just like their own little bubble. So
it is so good. It is so good, man.
It's just tragic. It's just a tragedy, It's hard to lose your love and then find someone that reminds you so much of them.
Yes.
But that you have to let them go.
Right. And that's why Aerith is such a boss. Like that's why Aerith is such an absolute legend is, like I said, she's mature enough goated. and what's what I'm looking for? Like, self-aware, but also like, not sophisticated. What's what I'm looking for? Like good enough to be like, I could get this guy, but I know what I'm feeling and I know what he's feeling. Like this is sad, but yeah, I'm going to let him go. And that's what she does to the church. She literally lets him go, like physically pushes him away after saying thank you. And she also says, I like you, but there's liking and then there's liking.
There's yeah.
She doesn't like, guys, that's the time where she would say, I love you, Cloud. And like, why not? That's her time with him. But she's saying, yeah, this is the end. I wanted to have this fantasy with you, this date that, what could have been. Reminded me of Zach too, because we did the same thing and he bought me a ribbon and stuff. Yeah, let's do that. It's just
a tragedy. And
beautiful, so beautiful.
Yeah, there's so many times where she just wants to be that flower girl. She wants to be, she just wants to be human. But again, like you said, with the FF10, another FF10 parallel, you mentioned Burdened by Fate.
She's Yuna, man. She's Yuna.
Yeah, and, she just...
obviously some differences, but it's such a beautiful sort of similar character and makes like her and Yuna some of the best characters in Final Fantasy history. Like, such a powerhouse is to be like, wow, I want to know. It's the same thing. Do you remember when Yuna is in the lake with Titus before they have their romance scene and she says, he's like, you don't have to do this, right? You can just not do it, not save the world. You live your own life. And she's like, yeah. And they have this like, it's like a 2-minute conversation where she's kind of like floating on her back. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go do all this stuff we want to do and we'll have fun. We'll have a great life together and stuff. And then Titus is like, yeah. And then he looks over and she's just crying.
Oh.
And she's just like, but I can't do that. Then, just comforts her in the only way you can. And it's so beautiful, and that's kind of what that scene is for Aerith. Again, the forest scene in the original, it doesn't hit like that, man. And it's also like really, it's a lot darker because Cloud like attacks Aerith and then she pretty much like runs away because he's crazy. In this one, he just kind of implies that he's threatening her, like, give it to me, please. She gives it to him. And I think it's a lot better, right? We don't need to see just like needless violence. And also it wouldn't make any sense for her to have like a nice scene with him after that. So I'm glad they cut it. And then, they have this great emotional thing. And in the original, it's just the forest. Leave Sephiroth to me. And it comes off like he's crazy. Yeah. He's insane. He's like, yeah, leave Sephiroth to me. She says like, you need to relax. You're insane.
Yeah. And like, again, goes back to her missing that steel sky when she didn't have to worry about this rift and,
man. And so I don't know if you know this, Leah. I don't know if I actually mentioned this to you, but they actually changed the voice line at the end of Remake. Did I tell you this?
I think so, but
I did. Okay. Yeah, so they changed it, which is super interesting. It's the same idea. It didn't really change anything. It's not like she says like, I like potato sandwiches now. What? That's the final one? Like she says, instead of the steel sky, I miss it. She says the sky, I don't like it. Or the sky, it scares me. I think it depends on the translation. But yeah, so it's the same idea. She's saying she misses the safety of Midgar because she mentions like unlimited freedom and unlimited possibility, the unknown journey, literally, right?
And doesn't have to think about her fate, She can
doesn't have to think about her calling.
As her flower girl. Which I have another.
Yep. Yeah.
I might have something.
She's onto something. But yeah, it's Yuna leaving Besaid is what we're saying, right? She's going to die. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, going back to the gold saucer dates, a bit of a parallel.
Oh yeah, we got to finish the date talk. I'm sorry.
The oh my God, what are they called? The sky orbs? Sky wheel?
The sky wheel, yeah. Sky wheel.
It has a steel ceiling, right?
The steel sky.
Steel sky. I'm saying she's escaping reality. She's under that steel sky again. Even though it's a tiny orb this time, but I feel like it's just a way to be like, all right, you're Cloud, I'm Aerith. Let's have a
think
moment about it
under the steel sky one last time. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's it. Her dream date goes back to Midgar where it was safe for her.
Where it's steel. And then here comes Sephiroth, ruining everything once again with reality. He's like, it's cute that you want to escape reality, but I'm omnipresent. You can't run away from me.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh, the sky I don't like it. Oh, the sky I don't like it was the original Japanese, and the English was the steel sky I miss. Okay, yeah. So it's pretty much just made it in line with the Japanese, and of course they're implying that what if Aerith can already see the rift in the sky that Cloud sees at the end of the story? Which, guys, it makes sense because they were hinting at the fact that Zack was whisked away. At least he thinks that wind was you, right, Aerith? That Aerith already created that place for Zack. So I don't know. Doesn't quite line up. I don't know exactly with the theories we were saying earlier, so I don't know, but it makes sense that she would be able to see that. Yeah, that fate has been already altered. Yeah, the dream world was already created. That she put Zack for safety and stuff. Yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, let's talk about let's finish our date talks. Yeah, listen. Aerith is one of the best characters ever. Right?
Oh yeah, she's just.
And again, this is what I want to That's why I think these conversations are so much more important and so much more interesting than just like shipping like trough slop that people guzzle down on the internet and forget that we're actually in the midst of a story here. And again, I'll just say this very quickly, like the shipping conversations become so droll and again just like slop because they oftentimes become pitting the two girls. Yes, slop. I think
it does a disservice to both of these characters.
It's a disservice,
and to connect them solely to Cloud because they both have a lot going on.
They have so much going, and also like I said this before, it's an information war. It's a misinformation war. The shipping war. It's so stupid because you get these like think pieces, which should be called not thinking pieces, the opposite of unthinking pieces, because it's just like, oh yeah, I'm telling you guys in like a 20 tweet thesis why Tifa or Aerith is the worst person ever. A total jerk face. And that's the deeper message of Final Fantasy VII. She is a loser. The end. Yeah. Nojima sat down. That's what you're telling me to be like, what do I want to say? Oh, that Tifa is a loser. Like, it's just so stupid.
Also know that it's quite insulting to the writer. I feel like
it's very insulting to the writer.
to just like bring down one character because the
main thing is
just be respectful,
Yes, and also the main thing is if all the characters were perfect and sanctified and made no mistakes and had flaws, there'd be no story. So it's just so stupid. It's like, why didn't Tifa and Aerith now, so they're both in on it, tell Cloud about the new... It's like, because there had to be a story? Like, I don't know. Yeah, we could have a perfect world where, like, also Cloud didn't ever lose his memory and stuff, but then there'd be no story. Like, it's just so dumb. So yeah, it's in the service of the story, guys.
And like, I also quite like what they did in Rebirth, where we see a lot of Tifa and Aerith just talking, but we're Cloud, so we don't know this, but we do know that there's a whole line close. Of they're very close, and they also we do know that they have a lot of things that they just like to talk between themselves that we never really get to see, but we know that they have their own relationship.
And we have the novel Traces of Two Paths, which is literally just them talking the entire time. and like bonding and sharing their story and stuff. So yeah, it's just like,
so no need to tie them always.
If you still think that they don't like each other or something, like, or they're not best friends, you are literally living in a deeper dream world than Cloud at the end of Rebirth. Or you see, like, if you still think that, you're lost to us. But yeah, anyway, the dates. So yeah, Aerith date writing is 10 out of 10.
Fantastic. Oh my god.
And especially looking at the end of OG, which you know now and stuff, like, look at the dates and how they set up. And then the Tifa date is kind of the opposite of the Aerith one. Like, there's a lot of sort of like uncertainty in them, Tifa and Cloud, when they get on the thing. And then there's this moment of like, Cloud is trying to figure out what's going on with Nibelheim still at this point, and he's worrying about his old friend Zack. He's worrying about, oh, did you tell Aerith that her boyfriend died? Like, really, really heavy stuff. Yeah. And then it's cool because in the same way that you get Cloud and Tifa in chapter 9, which I think is one of the best scenes in the trilogy. It's just such a human scene. It's the first time you get Cloud being vulnerable. You almost never see this in the original. There's one scene after Aerith dies where Cloud is like, I don't know what I might do. I gave the black materia to Sephiroth. I'm crazy. Please come with me on this journey.
He
literally says, please come with me on the journey because I don't know what I might do. Please stop me.
Heartbreaking.
But yeah, you never really get the sort of fear that he has and the uncertainty. And dude, this scene in chapter 9, right, where you see Cloud just she says, I'm listening. She kind of sits up and opens up to him, and he says, I don't know what's going on with me. I know stuff I shouldn't. There's people inside me. I'm scared. I think I'm degrading. I think I'm losing myself. Like, it is heartbreaking. Like, what a scene. And again, showing that, and this is what I always said, the cool thing with Cloud trying to impress Tifa or Aerith is that when he tries to impress Aerith, he's the cool guy. He's the bodyguard. He's Zack, essentially, right? He's like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm going to impress her. But with Tifa, it's like, she's the one that he can like say really vulnerable stuff like that because he knows her so well for like 20 years, whatever. So I love the different dynamics and with all the characters. Whereas with Yuffie, it's okay, that's his younger sister. Like, he's just, pretending he's getting punched. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it was so silly. I love that.
But with so anyways, Cloud and Tifa get them, and they almost kiss in chapter 9, which is so cool. It's kind of like building up everything, and then Yuffie busts in because she's eavesdropping. Like, ooh, they got kiss.
Oh my god,
so funny. And then the Tifa date with Cloud, like, they just have this great connection, and I think the kiss is setting up for part 3. Like, we just played the ending of part 3. There's this scene with Cloud and Tifa that is like, I think if it wasn't on the PS1, it would probably be, Final Fantasy X level romance scene. Just really, really nice build up. And I've said my theory on this 20 times about how I think they'll do this, but I said it to Aaliyah again, like, they probably do it in part 3 because everybody goes home to their respective loved ones, and then Cloud and Tifa don't have any that are alive, like, besides themselves. So they just spend the last night together. It's beautiful. But yeah, so I think they do the third Nobuo song. Like, we have Hollow, we have Promises to Keep. They do the third Nobuo song during this beautiful tragic montage where you have Cloud and Tifa hanging out, having their conversation, and then you have Barrett goes home to Marlene, and he's like trying not to cry and trying not to say the world's ending as he's just like sees her one last time. You have and it's probably going to be like kind of a sadder song, probably more like Tsuteki Dane from Final Fantasy X, I would guess. And then you have I think it would work so well, and it's also like a romantic theme. And then you have Red, Nanaki goes home to Bugenhagen, sees the loved ones over there. Sid, right? Sid goes home to Shara, apologizes to her. They get together, a little romance. I think could be really nice. A little romance. Hey, Shara. He says, sit down and get ready for some love.
Save it.
Yeah. He doesn't say, sit down and drink your tea. He says, sit down and you get ready. Yeah. So that's going to be good. And then, he gives her a little show,
Yeah.
Sit down. Anyway, he makes up for his mistakes with her. And then who else am I forgetting? Barrett, Red, Sid. Oh, Vincent. Vincent goes and sees Lucrezia at the cave. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. He goes and kind of says maybe stuff that he regrets that he didn't get to say to her. I don't know. It could be so awesome.
Oh my God. I cannot wait if we get that. Whoa.
Yeah. Right. And then as that happens, as the love scene, whatever, like FF10 style, Cloud and Tifa, kiss and have their night together. I think it'd be really, really like, holy mom. Maybe you see Sephiroth at the end of the song at the Northern Crater. Ooh. It's like the world is ending. We just played it. It's incredibly tragic. It's like, yeah, so if we fail, we're dead. We're gonna go early to the Northern Crater, and if we die, we'll just die earlier than everybody else. This is what Cloud says. Like it is very sad, very dark stuff. So it's got to be, and I guess it's the reason I say FF10 scene is because like it's the same thing, man. It's kind of like looming doom romance scene, not like, we're finally alone, Tifa, let's have some fun together. It's just like, nah, man, it's this really beautiful moment, and I think again, that's why the Gold Saucer date was so good to kind of build it up, and kind of build up there. Again, they don't really have time to figure out what's going on with their relationship.
Guess what we got a taste of?
What do we get?
From that in Rebirth was, again, the dream with Aerith. Everyone's living their best life last day.
You're so right.
Before, tragedy hits. We're like, hey, Miss Honeybee's in her honeybee outfit. You know what I mean? Everyone's like,
that was funny.
Hey, let's take some pics. Or like,
I got the pic with Zach and her as like the craziest crossover of.
Yeah.
Because Zach would definitely kill it at the Honeybee Inn, right?
Oh yeah.
But man, I think it's gonna be great, that final song. Yeah, because I'm like, how can they top Promises to Keep? It's literally like Eyes on Me level.
Oh my gosh.
Nomura literally said, when he's sitting down with them, this is quintessential Nobuo Uematsu. Like he said, like he said, like, I'm happy to be alive and like see this be made. So he was like really complimentary. He's right. Like it is as good as Eyes on Me level stuff. So I think they have to top it with either a Tsuteki Dane or somebody else said, what if there's a Sephiroth song? What if it's a
that would be awesome.
Disney villain
so
like Frollo song for Sephiroth?
Sephiroth sings? Yes.
Yeah. He's just up in the Northern Crater like, be prepared. That would be awesome. Can you imagine? It's the Lion King. He's up there like dancing around the crystal. Yeah.
Stop. Oh my god.
Yeah,
it was going to be like one of those honeybee mini games where you have to time the button to get the right
or he's like taunting Aerith like in the live stream, and he's just like, ooh, dancing around her and stuff. Or it could be a Sephiroth Aerith like duet where they go back and forth, and the weapon singing backup. See, you got Emerald Weapon and Ruby Weapon are up there like
doing some like choreography in the back and some like light shows too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the light shows and like the shadows like in Lion King. It's gonna be good.
Yeah,
skeletons and stuff.
Wait a second.
Yeah. Sephiroth is like using the skeletons of the ancients, mocking him or something. It'd be crazy.
That would be awesome.
Chocobo Waltz. That's right. Chocobo Waltz wasn't in there yet, right?
It'd be cool if it would be really cool. Then this is definitely not gonna happen, but it would be cool if Jenova sang. If it was like supposed to be Jenova's
Sephiroth
voice.
Genova duet, and he's like singing to his mother, and she awakens.
God.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's after the reunion. Yeah. If they do my theory, if they do my idea where Jenova is complete and she like walks around and speaks again, I'm gonna get chills. Man, what? Oh my God! I bet Aaliyah voices Jenova. Can you imagine? That would be so... Wait. Guys, can you give us a Jenova voice?
What should I say?
You just did it. Your normal voice. It's great. Say anything. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Say my son, Sephiroth. I don't know.
My son.
That's
Sephiroth.
That's it. That's it, guys.
So funny.
Right? Can you imagine if that's the type of voice she has? Like, she would have to be like seductive. She'd have to be deceiver.
I think she should be really quiet.
She's literally like Sauron.
She's whispering in your ear.
Yeah, she's literally Sauron.
Do this for me. Yeah, part 3 spoiler.
I'm sorry, that would also go hard though. Like, imagine if she's just
it
like,
would go crazy.
yes, my son, and like kind of hugs him. Horrifying.
Oh my God, his post-death scene where he's like, okay, blood down his face. He's seeing like Jenova, maybe like comforting him or something.
See, this is the sort of stuff that I would be okay. What you just said is genius because it ties into Advent Children. Right?
Ooh.
Remember when Sephiroth shows him? He's like, my mother and I will sail the cosmos with this planet as our vessel and stuff. Like, that would be cool if, you kill him in the blood and stuff, and then he's just like, sees Jenova kind of hug him and stuff, because that is literally, that's literally what happens. Like, he is able to subsist again in the live stream because now we know why, for Advent Children. He can't just go away. He's Jenova,
He's Jenova.
So interesting, man.
Oh.
It's so interesting. Yeah,
so you think the third song will be Tifa or
I
do you think
I
it's
don't
just
know.
gonna be
I don't know if it'll be Tifa, but yeah, I mean, I guess it could be from Tifa's perspective on like the end. Like, I want this last moment to go. I think it'd be really beautiful. If you had to choose someone, I think otherwise it could also just be like a kind of
like a Sephiroth.
It could be Sephiroth, but it wouldn't work for a love song. That's for sure, right?
No.
But yeah, I think.
Well,
Yeah, I think it'd be great. Josh said to merge the Advent Children grief arc into Advent Children. Yeah, I think it's going to build into Advent Children, Josh. Like I was saying earlier, I think they already have. Like they're setting up so Zack and Aerith. He's already seeing them. He's already seeing the Zack and Aerith that he sees in Advent Children. That's what they're showcasing. You know, the mechanics of that. I think they could very well do that. They could just be like, oh, you know, it kind of mimics Advent Children, or we're like speedrunning and combining Advent Children. But I don't know why they would do that. Like they said numerous times, going to link up to Advent Children. So unless they're like, oh, it's a whoop-de-doo, link around and down and under, and it's a separate world. Like, I don't see how that would add value personally to Advent Children. And again, some people will say they want to see payoff for the crazy dream world and stuff. I think the payoff's already been there and will continue to be there, and just amazing storytelling, great scenes, great characters, great writing. Like, we don't need, like, if it's only additive, like I said, if you only look at the stuff as additive and has no value until you learn what the twist is, that's a very like valueless device, like all of it. So I don't think that's the right thing to do. They could still do it, of course, and like again, the end of Rebirth was much better than I pictured. We said pretty much it, like Sleep Easy and I, we had our talk a few months ago before Rebirth, and we were like, yeah, I think with Aerith, you know, they'll have something where like it looks like she's gonna be saved, but then she still dies. I'm pretty sure we said exactly that in the theory and stuff. So yeah, it's I predicted it'll be something similar and kind of deliver something better than we thought. But like I said, man, the Aerith, and again, I've not heard anyone else say this. With the Aerith thing, it hit me right away when her song hit. It's like it brought me back to being a kid when you're fighting Jenova. And it's like, guys, they actually did it. They captured the feeling. What did we all say as kids when Aerith died? We said, oh, but no, she's not dead. Like, she's like one of our main characters. Yeah, they're going to heal her. Like, it's Final Fantasy. Like, she'll be back after we'll find a way to bring her back. Oh, no. And then he lowers into the lake. And then there's the grief. Then we go, she's gone. What about all her limit breaks that we learned? What about all this stuff? Like, it was like a sort of physical loss too, like in the game, I guess, as a gameplay centric character. It was so cool.
Tifa broke me. Oh my god, Tifa's reaction when she's just like dejected. Oh my god,
Tifa's just
so
done.
sad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like,
so
imagine just losing the friend and also losing like a peer, just a peer.
Oh, it's crazy.
Also, a girl that you can relate to. I think.
in the talk with Sleep Easy and Max Dude and Baby Seal and Nice Guy Prince and Blitz, they had a cool point. Sleep Easy had a really cool theory, and I think it might be a little dark, but it could work. So when Tifa, he said, I just want to hear your thoughts on this, Aaliyah. When we go up to Cloud, Tifa sees, you know, the blood phasing in and out as Cloud is holding the thing. So Sleep Easy said, I believe it was Sleep Easy. Again, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I want to give credit where it's due. But Sleep Easy's amazing. This would make sense to come from him. He said, what if Tifa thinks that Cloud killed Aerith? Because Sephiroth is standing over at the side. His sword has no blood because he threw the blood off his sword at Cloud. It was Sleep Easy. That's what I thought. And
Good
what
theory.
if Tifa, that's why she's just like not saying anything to Cloud. She's horrified of him. Also, look at how Cloud was behaving right before that. She literally like pushed Tifa. He went to destroy her. Like she has seen Cloud. He literally executed all those guys. Just like it's a homecoming. Like he's crazy.
He is crazy.
Yeah. So I could see it. Again, I don't really think it changes anything kind of like on a arcing of the story thing. But wow, that would be brutal if she kind of voiced at one point that she's afraid of him. And what if Sephiroth used that against Tifa? I think that would be the twist there. What if Sephiroth comes to Tifa and says like, he's coming for you next or something? That could be terrifying. Or, you know, I guess
If
what
that
if
happened,
he
I mean, how does Tifa
tries
even begin to forgive Cloud? That's like non-redeemable.
Yeah, exactly. It's also so she would have to have like hard knowledge that he didn't do that to even have
That's
the live
true.
stream scene. So I don't know. I think it's a little extreme, but also
That's a great theory, though. That's really cool. Yeah.
What I see is I don't see her actually believing it. I see Sephiroth trying to get her to believe it, which would be just as effective. And then she's like, no, that's not true. That could be really cool. Like, what if he tries to break Tifa too? Because that would also work for his plan about the Northern Crater. And then she resists and he's like, no, I won't do that. So that could be awesome. But anyways, back to the dates one more time. We talked about Tifa.
The boys.
Talked about Aerith. Oh my goodness. Yuffie. Amazing.
One of my favorites. Yeah,
like,
definitely
so
my top
heartwarming.
3.
Like, I thought it was over, and then they started talking about the Zack stuff. I was like,
oh, so good.
This really is genius.
And we just got a glimpse of his silly side, his true self, you know?
Yeah. That's so cool. Also, then we have the boys, which I think was so funny. The boys date.
I was crying laughing.
The fact that Kate Sith is like, let me off this thing. These guys are crazy. Like, it was so, it was beautiful.
God. It's like bringing 3 introverts to the club.
Yes.
And they all go nonverbal. And
the fact that
Vincent
time. Says nothing the entire time except snoring is perfect. It's just so such a good like bit. It's just refuses to have fun in any universe. Like.
Right. And the funny part is Sid was actually high energy. And then he goes and like a few minutes pass and then Vincent and Cloud's complete energy void.
Just sucks Sid in. Yeah. Yes. Well, no, once Sid was like, oh, you can't really pilot this thing, I'm out. Like, he didn't care anymore.
Yeah,
I want to go home.
Exactly.
That so funny. But
it was so funny.
Yeah. Oh, and Alchemist said something in chat. I said this on a theory talk I did my live video essay, right? On Twitch last year. I think it was last year and or a few months ago. And I talked a lot about that. How Tifa gets imitated by Sephiroth at the Northern Crater. That's why he's been gaslighting Cloud. It's all building up to this one moment with the black materia. They're gonna put stuff into motion where it's like, don't give them the black materia. I don't even trust myself. Maybe not after the end of Rebirth. He might just be totally bonkers. But if they do that, it's going to be such a payoff, right? And then the fact that it is actually not, she was an imposter. Oh my God. It's going to finally drive Cloud off the edge. And then I'm telling you, that's when Sephiroth goes, oh, wait, you think you saved Aerith? I told you couldn't save anyone. Look at this. And you see the full scene of the burial. And he completely loses his mind. Damn, and here's the cool thing for people, there is a camp of people who are like, Aerith is alive. Like, she's actually alive. She will be there at the end. She is back. Philip, you are wrong. The cool thing is, even if that's right and Aerith is alive, this still works. Because it would mean that Aerith is alive, like in a different world. Yeah. And which she kind of isn't anyway. Like, the world is the live stream. She's over there in the dream world. You know, like I said, it's Advent Children Aerith that he talks to. He's just already seeing her, which I think is so clever. But yeah. Anyways. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna fully break him. Sephiroth shows him the death scene, and then oh my goodness gracious, spinal. But yeah, so that's gonna be awesome. And then what else? Oh yeah, the dates. I think we talked about it. We didn't talk about Red. Nanaki's was so nice. The date.
Oh, Nanaki's was sweet.
And Nanaki's and Yuffie's both had the kid at Disney World.
The kid,
vibes, which was that was so fun, man.
It was great.
It was so fun. It kind of solidifies like the idea that these are human beings. And to see them act like that, it was just, and it's really cool. Like, the dates are just all canon. Like, or rather, if they happened, they'd all be canon. Does that make sense?
My headcanon is that he went on every single date and just never went to sleep.
Yeah, this is funny. Like, every hour of the night, he slept for 1 hour. Woke up, hey, want to go on the sky wheel? Fine, I already did this. Oh my God, goes with Aerith. Comes in, hey, the boys want to go. All right, I'll go again. He goes again. He goes to Loveless once with.
I think the boys is probably last.
Yeah, it's like I was going to say the boys is last because Cloud's done. Yeah, I think Tifa is second to last because it's kind of like a big like moment for Cloud, and it'd be weird to go with Aerith after that. So yeah, he does that.
Before the girls, I think.
Oh, we didn't talk about Barrett's. Barrett's was really special. Yeah.
Exactly. It was perfect.
Sleep Easy's here. Oh my God.
Sleep Easy, how you doing? Oh my God.
Yeah, I was just talking about you, man.
About your theory.
I was just talking about your theory. Yeah, we got to talk. Sleep Easy, you need to watch this whole conversation. We figured out the rest of the game. We figured out everything. It's over. It's over. But
we had so.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Barrett date. Oh my God.
Yeah, because I'm a strong. Well, at least after playing FF7 Remake and Rebirth partially, I'm shipping Cloud with a therapist right now. Like, he needs major help before he gets into a relationship. Let's just be so for real.
Yes.
And I just felt like Barrett
was that.
that therapy. I'm like, this is exactly what he needed. He just needed a pep talk.
Yep.
He just needed that, you know. I loved it so much. It was, and he talked about
Myrna, which there we even mentioned her name. That was, I think, I said it before, that was the darkest scene in Final Fantasy history, Barrett's trial, because it wasn't the showing of violence. It was the effects of violence. The effect of Barrett, like his arm disappears and you see the bandage and stuff. That was,
oh my God,
the darkest thing that's ever been. And again, there's sadness and there's death in Final Fantasy, but it's typically like almost like kind of high tragedy Shakespearean death and stuff. Like, you know, I think like FF10 ending and stuff. Like, it is not like that. That was just raw.
That was raw.
Like
so human, so tragic.
It was sad. It was, and like I said, it wasn't overly violent. It was just upsetting in a very profound way, you know. And John Bentley, man, obviously killed it as always.
Oh my God, when I find the devs.
Yeah, and again, like I said, for people, and I've said it before a million times on streams that like it is so completely surpassed the OG for me just as a piece of art and about everything that's around it. And again, Aaliyah, after seeing the OG, Aaliyah had some really cool thoughts on the OG, which, and I did too, going back to it for the 20 millionth time. It's like, it's so, like I said, it's a charming mess. Right? Like it's so charming and so perfect in this weird way that's hard to put into words. I think a lot of it is you get this almost like kind of goosebumps feeling. I think a lot of it is the top-down view for a large portion of the game and the pre-rendered backgrounds. You feel like, I don't know what it is. You're almost watching like security footage, or you're almost like kind of watching
like
a play.
Diorama, I think.
Yeah,
sort of.
like toys, like a diorama. There's this weird feeling. It happens only with like PS1 pre-rendered stuff.
It's so charming.
It's so charming, but it's again such a weird, specific way that cannot be explained fully, cannot be replicated ever again, but also has the trappings of such a medium, as in like the music accounts for like 90% of what you're feeling because there's no acting, there's no description, there's no narration. So like in a novel, it would say, you know, Barrett said as he hung his head, like this is what happened, and all these great descriptors. Like there's no description, so you just see the big like blocky polygons moving around and stuff from, you know, 100 feet away and some of the views and everything. And it's just, you know, it's charming in a really specific way, but it also is very limited by the time. So I do think it has surpassed it just as a pure art piece and as far as everything. But yeah, I think if you played the original on mute with no music, it would be a very different experience. Yeah. So yes. What were we saying, girl? Oh yeah. The original, amazing.
Yeah. I mean, they just added hundreds of layers. I mean, if we're talking about Barrett, hundreds of layers to Barrett, and like, oh my God, he's just the beating heart of Avalanche. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It was so good. And the Barrett date.
It's like this. I will say the spirit of Avalanche. I think Tifa's the heart of. I think Tifa's the heart, especially after playing the original.
Tifa is like the conscience of Avalanche too. Like she's don't go too extreme. Wait, these are people. Yeah. Which is interesting because at the end of the original, Barrett says, I'm pretty sure they'll do this in the original. Barrett says like, yeah, I went about that the wrong way. I shouldn't have bombed those reactors. And it's like, whoa, that's a huge thing for him to say that. Yeah. Also subtext said the red date. There's one thing that the red date says, guys, if this doesn't tell you that I'm right about my Advent Children connection stuff and sort of the, that I'm right. And sort of my Advent Children, like the idea this is clarifying everything in the lore. It's not complicated. It's clarifying everything. It's enriching the OG in ways. It's enriching Advent Children. Guys, Nanaki says that we are slowly forgetting the whispers. Guys, guess what they don't remember in Advent Children or don't talk about? The whispers. I'm telling you, if that doesn't say this is connecting everything perfectly and that it's just a revision so it fits in, like, man, why in the world do they say that FF8 type stuff, man? Losing memories and everything. I'm telling you.
Seeing the future?
Great.
What does he see? Seeing the future.
I don't know. He might just reference what he saw from the whispers, and he's like, "Oh, we're forgetting what we saw of the future." I think is what subtext is saying, and then he says, "Yeah, we're forgetting the whispers," and I was like, "We're what? Oh my God, yeah, they don't remember that in Advent Children. How convenient. How interesting. Yeah." Speaking
of the future, Red and his puppies.
Yeah, the Red and his puppies ending got you, didn't it?
I love this. So cute.
Yeah.
And then the laughing. What do you think the laughing is? At the very end of
Aaliyah had a cool thought on this. Like, I think it's meant to say that humans are alive, but Aaliyah said, what if it's the planet which we know is screaming in agony and at the rebirth stage. But Aaliyah was like, oh, what if at the end of OG and the end of the whole story, 500 years later, like the planet is okay? I was like, that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, like I think because it's paired with this very illustrious scene of nature reclaiming Midgar, and we see this lush planet, and then we hear the laughter. That's what I took from it, but I think they purposefully made it very interpretive. But that was my personal interpretation.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. It's so good. Well, why don't we look at our list one more time too, to see if we forgot anything? Okay.
Yeah.
As we continue this talk. Aerith, see the future. Yeah, they were talking about that subtext. You don't think the grief, you think they're going to combine. So Josh is saying they're going to kind of combine Advent Children into this. Hey, I'm sure they could do it well because they're just amazing artists and everything's great. I think they're personally going to connect everything back though. And in my perspective, like I said, everything's lining up too well, man. Like, why would they go through so much trouble to make Dream, Aerith, and Zack from Advent Children make perfect sense now? Like, perfect, flawless sense. Why would they do all this stuff to make everything make sense and everything like that? So I'm not convinced enough on that, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it because it's a really cool concept. Phil and Aaliyah, what do you think of Glenn? Oh, Aaliyah, you take that as I look at the list here.
Oh, I am the wrong person to ask. I don't know how I feel about Glenn right now. I'm still figuring that out, to be honest.
I haven't seen all the Evercrisis or the Evercrisis stuff because it's not my I'm not good at the game. I got destroyed and I literally gave up because I got beat for like 1,000 times. Leveled up a couple times after an hour of grinding. Beat one mission, got destroyed again. I'm like, okay, this game isn't for me. But but I love the ideas of it. Like I said, I think my sword idea is actually in that game, the Masamune one. Hopefully I'll get to see it one day. But so Glenn, I think Glenn is awesome. Also, Nomura said that Glenn was a character created for Rebirth. Ooh. They retroactively decided to put him in the first soldier and stuff. Cool. So I think it's really interesting. And I think the focus of Glenn is on that twist. Yeah, I just saw it in an interview. The twist at the end with Sephiroth being Glenn, I think it's crazy because it comes after all the Aerith stuff and we're like, Bizarro, Sephiroth, what the, and then instantly goes to the Glenn and we're like reeling from that. Yeah, I think that's one of the strongest scenes in the game. I think Rufus is one of the best characters, man. Like, he's always been one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Dude, that scene was dark. He unloads a whole clip. Like, oh my God. And the fact that it was Sephiroth, again, making Sephiroth like the greatest character ever, the greatest villain ever. Like, he literally is everywhere at once.
Yeah. And here we see history repeating itself.
Yes.
Sephiroth becomes Jenova. He is taking on the trickster. I mean, not much darker. You can't just call him a trickster.
Man, it's like evil. What did Jenova do? She took control of our dead, stole the faces of the dead. Glenn
caused discourse,
turned us against each other.
Yeah.
Oh my God, literally starting a war with Wutai.
History repeats itself every time.
Unbelievable, man. And the fact that that's him while he's fighting Zack in one world, Cloud in the other, the whole party in another world.
It's insane.
Morphing between literally all at the same time, and is manipulating Rufus seamlessly at the end and doesn't even care. He just laughs at him as he just kills him, just like old time. Shot me in the back. Is crazy. And you see Rufus breaking. That's why I love the scene. The acting was so good. He doesn't say anything. Just the crazy breathing, ragged breathing as he unloads the clip, and he's just like he seems like he's losing it, man. It's amazingly done.
Such a good character. Such a good character. I don't know. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, no, he's set up so good. Like, it is unbelievable. I'm loving it. And then the question remains,
playing chess.
Oh yeah,
he's moving the pieces.
Yeah, he's definitely moving the pieces. Well, will Rufus help the party in part 3? Well, he already kind of does help the party in the OG. He decides, like, I'm gonna take care of Sephiroth. I'm gonna execute you guys because the public needs somebody to blame. Bye. But so I love that he's not perfect. He's such a good kind of like middle. Is he a villain? Is he a friend? It's so good. But then, you can't. I mean, he's the reason we defeat Sephiroth is because of Rufus, guys. He fires the Sister Ray into Sephiroth's big force field up there and destroys it. That's why we can go down to Northern Crater. So
here's another.
Yeah, man.
Here's another way I think Rebirth set itself up for success too. So remember when in OG when Tifa's tied up and gases are threatening to put her to sleep or kill her. And like, don't worry, just hold your breath for like 10 minutes and we'll come get you. Yeah.
Literally like 10, 20 minutes.
Right. But it turns out she was saved by a weapon who happened to just blast that, I think, right? Blast the cannon.
Yeah, it was the weapon that saved Tifa.
It was one that saved Tifa. I love the, like, it's kind of a full circle moment because where was Tifa? Inside of a weapon. And so I think having her maybe get that moment in the next game is going to be so cool because that payoff as well. Also, justice for Tifa. I hate how they treated her in Gaslight Canyon. Justice for her.
Gaslight Canyon was wild, man. Yeah. I love how they turned it into like this tourist trap though, where people are just like fake spiritual and they're there for the Instagram photos. They're not actually there. Wasn't that genius though? Like she's talking real spiritual stuff, you know? She's like, okay, real shit. I fell into the live stream and had like an out of body experience and saw him, and they're all like just uncomfortably
cute,
like,
babe.
Wait, does she know we didn't come here to actually be spiritual? We just wanted to like do drugs and like take pics and go home. This is our Burning Man,
not
girl.
Bad.
This is our Burning Man. Like, stop. We're not here for that.
Hate it.
We're not actually spiritual. And then she's like, what? And Aerith sits there silently, by the way. Aerith does not defend her.
I'm pissed at Cloud personally.
What's going on?
he pushed her in the first place. I'm like,
Cloud pushed her.
You're not about to be silent.
Didn't say anything.
How dare you? Because you know who would have spoken up? Sid, Barrett, Yuffie, Cloud. What the? I'll give him a pass.
Sid would have lost.
Unwell. He's unwell.
Shit. Sid would have been like, sit down and listen to her story. You don't business. Here's some tea.
Here's some truth tea, baby. Sip it. She got Boogensplayed. That's so true. Funny.
A lack of knowledge, clearly. You need to see a doctor.
Oh my god. Huh? Baby, we're not doing this. No. But insane. I do love the weapon connection. So I love that we might get that, reuniting. Like, oh, I know you. We're cool.
Yes.
You saved me once. You saved me again. I know you, babes.
Yes. That's a good point. Subtext had a really good thing if you scroll up to his last comment as well. He says, another element of history repeating itself in the temple retelling Jenova versus the Cetra. It mentions that the Cetra defeated Jenova, but were overcome by grief to the point that it led to their demise. That reminds me of Geostigma and Advent Children was killing the population because of their lack of hope, even after defeating Sephiroth. Yeah, really awesome.
You know what? That also,
ties into it. I'm telling you guys, ties into it.
Yeah, and to go off of what you just said, subtext, exactly what you said is I think they literally, Jenova literally gave them a disease, right? According to the doctor, what's his name again? I'm forgetting his name.
Oh yeah, there was a virus, according to Professor Gast, right?
Gast, that turned them into monsters.
According to Ifalna.
So that turned them into monsters.
The one thing we have to check on that is, what is the original translation? Like I said, the OG English translation is riddled with insanity. Like Sephiroth clone, not the right word. Sephiroth copy is probably what they would have gone with after Crisis Core. Like I say, Genesis copies and stuff. But yeah, clone. What do we think of a clone? Like a lookalike, DNA exact replica and stuff. Not the case. He just like pumped him full of Sephiroth cells, hair strands, and all this stuff. But yeah, I think you're definitely onto something there with the virus, because if Falna's like, they give him a virus that turned him into monsters.
They turn into monsters, which also makes me think, what if all the monsters? Right? Yes. What if all the monsters we're fighting in Remake and Rebirth are literally just
the
descendants of Cetra? Yeah, that'd be dark.
That's wild.
That would be dark. I mean, I'd be screaming if I was the planet.
I love it. Yeah, the planet would be screaming. No, it's great. It's such a good thought.
It's just chaotic.
Yeah, I think you're really onto something with that. And then Queen's Blood. I think Queen's Blood is maybe the angle they spun that, Aaliyah.
I was overjoyed to see them add such rich lore to that card game.
Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. It's a card game.
Yeah.
But that's it. I think they're going to use Queen's Blood to explain the virus part, maybe. Because it said her blood turned them into, or created all monsters. The Shadow Blood Queen, which is probably Jenova, because Jenova is, the Shadow Blood Queen is depicted in the Temple of Ancients, which is just, how can you not love this, man? It's so well done.
So good. It's
like, come
so
on,
good.
Man.
It's just all ties together. Goaty.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And Josh is saying if we defeat Sephiroth permanently, AC can't have him. We get a happy epilogue. Yeah. Listen, like I said, it's been delivered so well. I guarantee whatever they choose is going to be good. I do think they're going to tell the story of the original, which is my only priority. I just love the original story, including the ending. Like the last shot is just gives you chills with Aerith.
Chills, absolute chills.
Right?
Yeah, it all ties together.
And it's Aerith, which loops back to the beginning, and it's like, wait, is that the actual shot of her at the beginning, or is that her in the live stream right now?
Oh my God.
Commanding the live stream to attack. So it's really, really beautiful. But yeah, I think either way they're going to depict that. That's really all that matters to me. And I think at the least, like I said, they'll definitely do like a bookend bow tie that will make Advent Children more meaningful. But like I said, they already have, man. They're kind of building toward Advent Children really strongly right now with the Zack and Aerith, seeing them in the dream world, which he then sees them. Hey, you want help with them again? Zack said, so I don't know, man. I think there's strong evidence for building towards Advent Children for sure. And they also said, the developer said, we're building, we're linking up to Advent Children, I think is the weird verbiage they used, which tells me they're doing it, like I said, unless linking up means whatever. But I will say this, they also said they're depicting all the original scenes, and they have. So keep that in mind, you know? They have delivered.
Yes, they have delivered. I have a serious power scaling question for you.
Oh, this is good. Yeah, I want to hear this.
Yeah.
This is very serious.
I was thinking, okay, do you remember in Rebirth, what was it? The Cactuar mini game, or the side quest, where you have to collect or find the Cactuar stone thingy, and then you get turned into a Cactuar, or your body's taken over by a Cactuar, and you have to
involuntary
make the pose.
Cactuar.
Involuntary.
Which is very dark. It's very disturbing.
It's dark. Yeah,
you were like, this is disturbing. I'm like, yeah, I don't like
morbid.
This.
Yeah,
very morbid.
Taking over autonomy. But fast forward in the end of OG FF7, where Sephiroth takes all control away from the team, so they're frozen and they're in pain. They're like, "Why I can't do this?" Do you remember that?
Yes.
So
very
with
scary.
that in mind, do you think that Cactuar could have beaten Sephiroth?
That is the question, chat. What do you think? Cactuar versus Sephiroth.
Do you think his power could...
Listen, a Cactuar controlled a first soldier level character, Cloud. Okay? Cloud, listen to me. Cloud kills Sephiroth in Nibelheim. And
yes, he does.
Kills Sephiroth at the end of OG. Therefore, Cloud is stronger than Sephiroth, and Cloud got completely dominated by a Cactuar.
Oh my God.
Guys?
Did we just find a solution?
Did we just find the unsolution to everything?
Did we just hack Sephiroth?
Did we just...
Cactuar, yeah. If we just get one Cactuar, I think we can actually beat Sephiroth first try.
Yeah, if we convince... Guys, no, listen. What actually undoes Sephiroth's plan at the end of the live stream... Hear me out.
Yeah.
Hear me out. The live stream undoes Sephiroth Meteor. Cactuar is of the planet, therefore is the power of the planet.
Oh my God. And he's green,
The Cactuar actually defeats Sephiroth anyway. It already happened in OG. The power of the planet defeats Sephiroth. It was the Cactuar, not Aerith.
It was the Cactuar.
Who controlled the live stream.
It was green, yeah.
Kid G is stronger than Sephiroth.
Kid G unmasked.
Kid G's voice is so funny. Like, hey guys, how you doing? Like, it is not what I expected.
Kid G supremacy. Funny. Genesis, stop this. I'm crying. Awesome. Did you just mind blown?
Yeah, I really am excited for Genesis. I think Genesis is going to appear. If you want to touch on Genesis quick, everybody, you know Genesis from Crisis Core. I think he's going to appear, and I think it would be cool if he kind of pleads to Sephiroth as a friend, because remember, Genesis is now like, you know, beyond all of his like kind of I don't know what the word is, kind of like dreams of I don't know, all this weird thing. And he also seems to have stopped degrading in Dirge of Cerberus. So it's like, I would love to see Genesis show up, because he's got to show up somehow, right? And do something, maybe plead to Sephiroth, and then Sephiroth kills him or something. I think it'd be really cool. It could also tie into my idea. I think that'd be really strong if it's actually Genesis showing Sephiroth all his memories in the live stream, because Genesis is essentially like a warrior of the live stream now on the planet Minerva. What if he's showing Sephiroth all his memories as a plea, and then Sephiroth like denies that, destroys his humanity, destroys Genesis in the live stream?
Oh
like,
my God.
His last friend Literally his last friend.
That's rough.
His last friend alive. Because Genesis should theoretically awaken when the weapons do, if you think about it, right? Because he's kind of a weapon, Genesis. Which means I would also love it if Genesis was just like a super boss and he was a weapon that you fight. That could be really fun.
That is such a good idea.
Yeah,
oh my God.
It'd be really fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see why they call you the little master.
Thank you. And Jill, I'd love to see on Jill too. I think it'll be more like flashbacky stuff, if anything, though. Yeah.
You need Chadley versus Kid G. I think Saruf is Kid G, personally.
Oh, yeah. Saruf is Kid G. That was already proven. Yeah. That was already proven. Saruf is Kid G. Yeah. I thought we already knew that, though. Yeah. It's supposed to be a theory talk, not fact talk. Yeah. Weapon size Genesis, I'm in.
I can't.
Yeah, Saruf is Kid G. I had a couple of cool theories on Saruf. It's likely he is Rufus because of the rich kid comment. But I think it's most likely Rufus. But I think it'd be cool if
is it anagram? What is that called?
Yeah, anagram. But I think it'd be cool if it was Zangan, which is doubtful. But
that'd be awesome.
Here's the question for you, Aaliyah.
I want to see more Zangan for sure.
I really hope Zangan is in it again.
Yeah.
How do you think
or see
he
like
would be
some
in
training? I want to see Tifa
he
training.
has to at least teach Tifa Final Heaven or Final Attack.
That would be so cool.
He has to at least do that, right?
Oh my! I want to see Tifa suplex.
Listen, we just played
suplex Scarlet.
Oh my God, you're onto something. I think a lot of people like to see that. Yeah.
Me, I would like to see that.
Yeah, but you're onto something.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. What were you
You're onto something.
I don't know.
I was also surprised we didn't see him again. Yeah, I think he will be there. As far as OG, I just did it when you go to get Final Heaven at the piano. It's a note from Zangan. So he teaches her theoretically what it is. And he says, hey, like after I, he also lost the use of his legs. Like he's not able to fight at the end of OG. And he says, I can't walk anymore, but I think maybe it was a translation where he can't travel the world anymore. Unclear. Again, OG translation is toss of the cards. Who knows? But yeah, I hope he's in it and he at least teaches you the final thing, like before he dies, or he. I want to see him fight Sephiroth. I think it'd be hype. Just gets destroyed, but it'd be a sick fight.
Yes. Yeah. Will Scarlet have the same outcome? I hope so. I kind of hope that we get a battle and then a cutscene where we just see her get a single slap in, then walk away to.
We had some good talks about that.
And an explosion behind her, slow motion.
Yeah, when we played it, we had some good thoughts on it. Yeah, it was something like that, right? Boss fight. I think the slap will be because like
if there's a slap fight, it might make a little unserious.
Yeah, exactly. But remember, Scarlet slaps her in the chair when she's getting gas.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like, what if you fight her as Tifa one-on-one? I think it'd be so sick. No Gundam this time.
That'd be so awesome.
No Gundam this time. You fight her. Tifa's like, oh, you want to fight? And then at the end of that, she's just like is defeated, and Tifa says like, oh, by the way, slaps her and walks away. That will be awesome. So I think they should do something like that.
Fight, yeah. And speaking of the slap fight, I'm sure a lot of people were like, Tifa can suplex,
Yeah, exactly. Why is she slapping?
Suplex like a dragon. Why is she slapping? I love the headcanon that she's literally using 1% of her slap power just for the disrespect of getting slapped. Do you know what I mean? So like if she slapped her with her full strength, obviously she'd die. She'd move into the lifestream. Exactly. She'd end up at the edge of creation. But,
literally. No, I just like you do realize that Tifa suplexed Diamond Weapon, right? Which is like like I literally just played it and I used Meteor Drive on Diamond Weapon, which is the size of Godzilla. Okay. So come on now. Like it's the size of the Shinra Tower, Diamond Weapon. She suplexed him. People talk about the train suplex. No. Yeah. I'm sure Sapphire Weapon will be a boss fight, Alchemist. Yeah. Or at least a really long, like interwoven cutscene, not just like gets up, attacks, gets shot. But yeah, that'd be sick. I'd love a boss fight. But yeah, guys, part 3. I said this about part 2 and nobody believed me. Everybody's like, it's going to be FF12 style, small little zones. There will be no open world. I said, you guys aren't thinking big enough. It's going to be ridiculously big. They did bigger than I thought with Rebirth. Part 3 is going to be gargantuan, guys. It's going to be humongous. Submarine is going to be an entire massive thing with, Discovery. There's going to be airship. There's going to be absolute madness. It's going to be all connected and just the boss fights with the weapons are going to be gargantuan. They're going to be completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. Yeah.
Maybe like Tifa can get, I'm still thinking about the slaps, I'm sorry, but like maybe Tifa can dedicate each slap to each member of Avalanche. Like this is for Barrett, and then this is for Yuffie, this is for,
You're onto something. This is for the Avalanche that died. Yeah, this is for Jesse.
Yeah, this is for also slapping me 5 minutes ago, jerk.
That would be sick. Yeah.
But anyway, I do have a question for you, because you are the little master. So, Please. Okay, end of Final Fantasy VII OG.
Yeah.
We use Holy. It don't work.
The Holy question. Yes. What is the deal with Holy?
What's up with that? Yeah.
So I feel like what happened with Holy is one of two things. In chat, again, fellow lore masters weigh in. This is something that, as far as I know, is never confirmed. In the game, at least. It's definitely not. But so Aerith summons Holy. Holy does not work. All her prayers didn't work. It amplifies Meteor, which causes more destruction of the world. And then only the planet itself answers. Not a prayer, not a materia. The planet itself. I like to think personally it's Aerith who did this. I think it's implied because the last shot comes up and boom.
Yeah.
Saves itself. It says that, you know, we showed it our thoughts, we showed it our feelings. Will it be enough? I think is what Cloud says. Will the planet think like we're worthy enough? And it does. It answers. And it was Aerith, I think, responsible for it. But anyway, why doesn't Holy work? I like to think that just Meteor was too powerful. Sephiroth's will was too powerful. Also, Holy was like constrained by Sephiroth in that like rock formation underground. He like sealed it. That's why it wasn't working. So I like to think that he like tainted it. Also, it would just make sense that it was too late, right? Like they literally destroyed. Yeah, we defeat Sephiroth and Meteor's like coming down as we leave Northern Crater. It's like so late. It's like 100 feet above Midgar, so it could just be that as well. If it was supposed to work how it wasn't too late, then it would have just been kind of like hanging up in the sky to protect the planet, I think is what was meant to happen. But it's just like a force field that's what, like 100 feet off the ground, doesn't do anything. You guys think that makes sense? Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really cool. What else we got on our list? We got so much written down. Let me see what else we got.
Let's see. Promises to keep. We talked about the promise to Tifa that potentially drove him to kill Sephiroth the first time.
Oh, you said that. Yeah, we already discussed it, right?
And then
that's when you were cooking.
Cloud. Yeah, I was cooking.
That was when you were cooking, girl.
I appreciate you. But then we fast forward to Cloud promising Aerith to save the world. Yeah, there's a promise between Aerith and Cloud. Wait, remember when she's like, "You promise?" And then he's like, "I promise."
Oh, when she gives him the materia?
Yeah, that he would stop him, correct? That he would stop Sephiroth?
I believe so, yeah. Are you talking about in the OG or in Rebirth?
The Rebirth, I'm sorry.
It was in the church, that conversation, right?
I think it was the final scene, the CG scene.
Oh, yeah, it was a CG scene. Yeah, the ending. Yeah, totally.
So I'm curious to see, because then it just ends up with there will be no promises or something in the
at the end of the journey. They say, no promises at Journey's End. Yeah,
no promises at Journey's End.
Which is the unknown journey continues quote of this game. Yeah.
Yes, I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I think like, and there's a camp of people. I talked about the possibility of this too. I think it's not incredibly high, but it still could be good. That's actually Jenova that's talking to him. It's not Aerith, because she steals the faces of our dead. The moment Aerith dies, this starts happening. This hallucination.
Do you think that he can only see her in the white space, like?
Possibly,
when it's completely white. Okay.
Possibly, but it does show her just like talking to him in the field, so that could mean
That's true.
From somebody else's perspective. But yeah, I think they were just trying to. Again, you have to look at it as a new work. That's the thing, guys. If you look at it as only additive, then it's very limited enjoyment. You're just going to be looking for like answers instead of enjoying the journey. But beyond that, it's like if it's only just kind of like a twists and information for us lore masters, then that whole scene has no like emotional value for new players who are experiencing the story, and also just as a story by itself has no value. So I think what they're doing is, you know, showing the drama that if you're paying attention, you can tell that Aerith's dead and he's imagining her. Like, for example, if you pause it when they walk out of the lake where she was buried, she's not there from the wide shot, but she's there when Cloud looks at her. But then when Tifa looks at Cloud, she's not there. Right. So I think they're kind of rewarding you for keeping your eyes out about Aerith, and that's why I said like don't overcomplicate things, which I like always look for the simplest reason for stuff, and then we can talk crazy theories. But I think it's most likely that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Meteor is amplified in strength because it's fed by multiple worlds, but holy only comes from one. That's a really cool idea.
Wait, one more time on the worlds. What was that?
So subtext is implying that maybe prayer didn't work against Meteor because Meteor was amplified because it was being fed by multiple worlds, whereas holy was only one.
That would make perfect sense. What if Sephiroth summons it in every world? That would be very cool.
Very smart move on his end, I will say.
Yeah, that would be really cool. It also explains why
then also the live stream is also part of every world, so that's probably why that could stop the Meteor.
Yeah, totally. And it would also explain why he wants to merge the worlds for the reunion to rule over eternity, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, totally. Because we have to ask ourselves, all right, when he says rule, what is Sephiroth's end goal in the trilogy? Because in the original, it was pretty much just implied that he wants to become a god by, absorbing the life stream, trying to heal the planet after Meteor hits. He's going to be there and become super powerful. We know he can absorb the life stream because he does that now. He absorbs the whispers, which are just essentially the planet's mini weapons and stuff. So, we have to ask ourselves, what's his goal to rule over eternity? Is it just the same as OG, or is he trying a little bit something else? Like we said, Final Fantasy VIII Ultimecia vibes with kind of time compression, rule over eternity. I think that'd be very cool.
And why does Sephiroth want to be a god? Yeah, I don't. And is it his dream on his own volition, or is it somebody? Is it Jenova's dream implanted onto him, or something? I'm curious. Why?
It is, and I think that's why it would be so cool for them to give Jenova characterization and have her when she's complete get up and be alive again, not just kind of a disembodied a corpse.
That would be crazy.
Because think about it, it's such a cool idea. Jenova always comes off as a kind of parasite, a kind of almost not mindless because she's so clever, but just I'm gonna go and destroy everything, and that's that. It'd be really cool, and it's such a cool concept to have this thing that is more almost like pure evil being controlled or partnered with by Sephiroth, who has so much kind of character to him and so much personality. And the reason we all love Sephiroth is because he's enthusiastic. He's a really cool character. He's got a lot of facets to him. He's got tragedy, and then to see him as that lofty final form is so cool. So I think they really should do that idea ahead. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yes. Right. Is there anything from this list?
Let me keep going. Yeah. What else? How did Sephiroth merge worlds? I think we talked about it a little bit. My fragmented mother. Oh yeah, that was your idea of Jenova cells from other worlds. Zach, that was genius.
Yeah.
You are genius. Other worlds. Yep. Multiple worlds. Maybe multiple live streams. Yep. We talked about that. I think it's likely one live stream, and I would go as far as to say it's all just a live stream. All the dreams world. It's the what could have been and the possibilities, the hopes and dreams that you didn't fulfill and everything. I think that's really good. Rebirth, Aerith, death scene. We experienced Cloud's delusional POV. Yep, we said that.
And I wonder if in Sephiroth's death, because we fight, I guess the dream Cloud or Cloud's conscience is fighting Sephiroth in the very end, which is when he truly kills him. So I wonder if we'll see, what if we get a glimpse into Sephiroth's original dreams? What were his original dreams before? Maybe you can answer this because you're a lore master, but what do you know? What were Sephiroth's original goals and dreams before he turned to the dark side? Before he found out his origins.
So it would appear that he's just a really good guy, and something he actually said in the part of Ever Crisis that I saw is he wants to save everyone. But I think what happens to Sephiroth is he realizes he can't save everyone when he's a young man during the war, and it really changes him forever. And he kind of realizes that the world is a dark place and it's not a perfect place that he always thought it was. So I would like to think that this is a twisted manifestation of that dream to save everyone. I'm gonna make eternity. I'm gonna rule over eternity. No one can die. I'm gonna save the planet, quote unquote, as they always say. It's there's even a great talk with Kate Sith in Rebirth in Cosmo Canyon, running through Cosmo Canyon, where he's isn't Sephiroth Sephiroth's isn't he dead? Yeah, but he's back and he wants to do this and he wants to save the planet, and it's doesn't that make him a good guy? Yeah, and everybody kind of just goes, it's complicated. You know what I mean? No one really has a full answer to that. So I love the idea that it's maybe a twisted version of that dream he had as a young man. I do want to save everyone. But at the same time, he treats humans quite poorly after he learns his origin. But I still do think, look at the way Sephiroth moves in Nibelheim when he first says, I'm going to see my mother. In Rebirth, he says, something a little bit different. He's walking. He never again moves like that. He's rigid. He's lifeless. I think he truly is under Jenova's control during that. I think it's the only time he's completely manipulated by Jenova. After he dies, he falls into the life stream. He absorbs the power of the whispers, etc. He surpasses Jenova. He takes control of her power. That's what I think happens because his will is so strong. You know, that's what I think personally happens, because you never see him move like that again. You see, he's like a robot. He's moving in slow motion, just like executing people. Looks at Cloud, and he's like kind of like, what is that expression? It's like sad. He looks like he wants to smile. He's crazed, you know. So I do think that's what's going on there, but a little bit of ambiguity so far in the story. But yeah. So that's my answer on that. There's one more thing. There's one more thing here. How does Sephiroth want to save the planet? So he wants to save the planet from humans, Josh. That's what he says. He says, I want to take back the planet from these, what's the word? Like these and imposters.
Who can even honestly, who can blame him? Like, you really can't.
And that's the coolest thing. Is like, is Sephiroth right? Like, humans are destroying the planet, guys. What's Shinra doing?
They're siphoning the planet energy. You got Hojo the Freakazoid. Doing all sorts of unethical experimentations. Yeah. Literally zero morals, separates mother from her child, you know, just for a little bit of research. I mean, it's bottom of the barrel.
So bottom of the barrel humanity. I love that. Yeah, I think it's such a cool idea. So it's like, and they should really play it up in the third game. Imagine if he says, like, to Cloud, it's like, you think humans are a good thing for the planet? What do you think killed it? I'm trying to save it. Like, that would be a really cool twist where it's like, oh, damn, he's kind of right. Ooh, humans are killing the planet, so it could be really good. That's what I mean, subtext. Yeah, it's like, he is a good guy. And guess who agrees with him? The planet. Like, the planet is sending weapons out to kill Shinra and attack Midgar in the original game. That's why they attack Midgar.
So one piece of lore that I found absolutely, first of all, if we're going off of the horror, very morbid, was the bit of lore we got. I don't remember if it was in Rebirth or OG. I think it was OG when we find out that, or maybe I don't remember, when we found out that the life stream and therefore Mako was once spiritual energy. So you are siphoning life from honestly the dead. Like,
it's literally souls. Like,
you're using people's souls to power whatever the hell, you know. And so it just makes Shinra and their creed so much darker to know that it's like human labor in a way. Like, it's they're taking the souls, they're not letting them rest.
Yeah, it's and forced labor. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like they're not letting the dead rest. Yeah, public school. Yeah, they don't let the dead rest, which is, I mean, not to make a crazy parallel, but look at the Gi. What happened to the Gi when they weren't able to rest? They made black materia. Yes,
totally. So. And I think that's such a cool idea. But listen, Subtext just said something. I don't think you need to spell it out. Listen, I just had a revelation about OG when we were playing Aaliyah, and then even now, it's like, I think the reason that Final Fantasy VII became so popular is, like I said, you just saw it for the first time. And you were still kind of like, whoa, hold on. Like, post Disc 1 stuff in Rebirth, you were like, there's a lot going on. Can we take a second and talk about it? Like, it's so much, guys, that I feel like the reason it became so popular is you got to have a PhD in FF7 to actually to know what's going on in the game. You do. Like, try to argue that in the comment. Like, you do. It's so crazy, the stuff that happens in it. Like you said, they never explain how Sephiroth reconstructs his body in the live stream. You had to piece that together from, like, studying the lore and understanding how Jenova's powers work and why he gets this and why he's back. And, like, wait, okay, he never, like, it was just his real body was up there the whole time. He was just using Jenova's power on his robed humans, his robed soldiers with the degradation to, like, manifest and, like, that takes so much to understand and is not explained in the game fully. So I think the reason it became so popular is it's kind of like this, you have to be so into it, and sort of the attraction that pulls you in to want to understand everything in this very fascinating and complex story is so great. And it's very similar to Kingdom Hearts in that, like, not the reason most people say it's similar to Kingdom Hearts, but it's similar to Kingdom Hearts, and like it's this thing that's like so common. So again, to circle back to my point, the reason that this trilogy is so smart is there's no more ambiguity, man. There's no more ambiguity. Like, it's finally explaining, why does Cloud see Zack and Aerith and Advent Children?
Yeah.
It's the dream world, man. That's what he's saying. It's the dream world and Advent Children. This is dream world, Zack and Aerith. He sees Aerith now the same way he sees her in Advent Children. That's it. He's already been in the world. He sees the rift in the sky. Like, that's just Cloud now. And I think that's so smart, man. It's so smart. And like I said, how does Sephiroth reconstruct his body? Well, now we know. I explained it all in depth at the beginning. He gets power of the Whispers. We had a hand in him construct. We gave him the power of the planet. Then he reconstructs. Then he's reborn. That's why Bizarro Sephiroth does not have legs. It's the torso body at the crystal. Like, it's so cool. Finally all makes sense. And there's no more like, yeah, because the black materia is really powerful. What is the black materia? It's just this crazy thing that's there. Why would you have a meteor spell? So you see what I mean? It all makes sense now with the Gi tribe and everything. So this is largely what we've been discussing, Sector 6, and everybody is really fun. Laid on a couple more breadcrumbs around this way of saving the planet. Yeah, I think they will subtext, because it's such a cool angle, and they already talked about it with Kate Sith. So I think it'd be awesome if he has a speech, maybe at the end of the game. Maybe when they're all floating there and he's like torturing him with his, he's out of our league. What the hell? This is his power. And he's just like, don't you realize I'm saving the planet? Just give in. Let me be the one to save it. I am saving. That would be so cool, man. And like, let me gain my new power and I'll save everything. It'd be, I'll save multiple planets. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe that's how they'll tie into Advent Children. I'll use this planet as my vessel and save everything. And like, I'm going to FF10 planet after this, right? I'm going to take out Seymour, that jerk. He thinks he's like me.
Not Seymour.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. Yeah, like I said, man, that's Aerith and Zack from Advent Children. That's what makes it so cool. It all makes sense, and it's tying into everything. And by the time you watch it all and then watch through Advent Children, it's going to be like, whoa, this is amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait to rewatch Advent Children.
Oh, man, it's going to be so good. And I still really hope, I doubt they will, because it's a film. It's a little bit different. It's kind of like solidified. How cool would it be to get a extended version of Advent Children, or a remake of it or something, or playable game DLC where it's like
that would be cool, a playable game.
Yeah, because I just love to hear it with the new cast. Man, it'd be so good to tie in there, because now we have them in Crisis Core too. It would just like fully do the whole story, and also to be able to play it would be cool, and also expand on a lot of stuff in Advent Children, which, like I said, the trilogy is expanding on it, which is awesome.
Yes. Did we miss a question?
We might have missed a couple questions. Yeah.
Let me see.
Just a couple.
He's not gonna unsee Aerith until after Advent Children, or he's like this for life, or like seeing Aerith.
Well, no, I think so. That's the last time he sees Aerith and Zack, is they finally walk away, and I think the dream ends a la Xanarkin. Like I said, it's Final Fantasy X, guys. Xanarkin. It's gonna be, they walk away and the dream has ended, and it's gonna be really even more meaningful, because now it's like, wait, he's already seeing Zack and Aerith in the same way in Rebirth. We got a whole other game coming. Oh man, can you imagine like an ending scene of Rebirth Part 3 or Remake Part 3 where like, he's there with Zack and Aerith and they have a cool talk or something, then it's like, that's when he finally made the connection. Yeah, he's gonna see them for years of his life. No wonder he's so sad. He has to be reminded of the people he let down in a way. But why don't we just talk, what do you think the format will be of the next game, Aaliyah? Kind of like order of events. I think it'll be largely the same order, but like, wow, what is going on in this game? We were playing it and we're like, Part 3 is going to be gargantuan. Like, it's insane. We're almost like halfway. Like Rocket Town? Mm-hmm. What's that?
What do you think the demo's going to be?
Oh, the demo. I could easily see it being Rocket Town or Wutai.
I think so too. Yeah, probably Rocket Town.
Yeah, I think the only thing is like Rocket Town, you pretty much have to go to Rocket Town immediately. Mm-hmm. The first time to Rocket Town, not the second one with space. You have to go to Rocket Town almost immediately, because it's like, oh my goodness, the Sid stuff. Because then if you're going to space, I mean, I guess they could theoretically do all Rocket Town in one go much later, but I'm like, I don't know, man. If they do it, it kind of has to happen right at the beginning on their way up. But here's the thing. At the end, they're at the Forgotten City. Sid's in the Tiny Bronco, like somewhere south. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like they're in like a grassy plain as they're fixing it up. So I think I think they went back towards Rocket Town. Maybe they're right outside it right now. And Sid's like, yeah, I'm fixing up Tiny Bronco near his house. Maybe they go to Rocket Town after that, and then that's when Rufus is like, I need to borrow your ship. That could be really cool. And then they escape. I feel like that's the only way. That's the only way for it to work. Otherwise, they have to do Rocket Town all in one go, which is also totally fine. But we're definitely going to space. Like, we got to do that. And the stuff with Shara, it's too good, man. I don't see them just not doing any Sid story. They did also say, we finally know what this means. They said we'll be visiting every OG location, just in different order. So okay. I feel like we will be going to Rocket Town at some point. Yeah, for sure. And I see it definitely being expanded.
You know what? Very really small piece of lore that I'm really excited for, because it will be a physical bridge between FF7 OG and the third remake. So when we learn about, well, first of all, snowboarding. We're gonna love snowboarding, but
snowboard, yes.
Snowboarding. I want to see more. I want to see the winter outfits. But other than that, when we learn about the origin of Professor Gast and Ifalna being like, yay, we get to look at those tapes. Well, if we look at those tapes, though, I feel like, I mean, tragedy aside, whoa, that's going to be heavy. However, it's going to be so rough. However, I remember the comparison you make to OG being sort of like security camera footage, or like diorama footage.
Totally,
that's a chance for them to maybe make a little ode to FF7 OG.
Man,
with the fixed camera.
It's just a shame. They probably won't, but it'd be so good. That is really hits hard.
I think they might for a few shots.
Yeah, for a few shots, I think they would. But yeah, it's just like thing. Man, the missed opportunity on some of the stuff that I think it'd be so cool to.
That's gonna break us.
Yeah,
that's gonna break us.
To do some of the fixed camera angles of the pre-rendered backgrounds, mimicking them in the old game, because that's really where the cozy feeling comes from. This weird kind of like security footage feeling. Have you ever played like Resident Evil 1 remake?
Oh my god!
I said Resident Evil 1 remake because it's like photoreal backgrounds with pretty good graphics. Like, it's for the GameCube and then updated for like PS4 or whatever. But man, have you ever played it? Because it's pre-rendered backgrounds with photoreal look, and that is. It looks amazing.
It looks fantastic.
It makes you feel all sorts of weird stuff. It feels like you're hiding under a table, like hiding from a monster as it goes by. Some of the camera angles are so evocative.
So good.
It's like a masterclass. So yeah, I really I speak to its strengths a lot, but unfortunately they've not done that once in remake. I think it'd be so clever to just like, it's an instant tap into nostalgia that they could just do at any time. It's like,
I will say, if they go Resident Evil mode, how haunting would it be to literally see that from different security camera angles?
Oh yeah,
that would be horrible. No music, maybe, and just like pure terror, pure.
Those tapes.
Tragedy. Like,
it's tragedy. Yeah.
Hojo's truly just an evil mother effer. Like,
it solidifies Hojo as like the worst person, and like I said, he's kind of the villain.
He's the worst of humanity. Yeah, he is.
The ultimate villain of everything is because of this loser. It's crazy. And he becomes like Frieza, his final form in the OG. Frieza.
Yes.
It's crazy. He starts out as like this big monster, and then he's like,
I'm happy they did that, because it's like, well, this is the monster. Like, he is a monster. We're just seeing a monster now, but he's always been a monster.
Yeah, it's really something else. But
it's a freak.
Like I said, I am going to be doing a full breakdown of the ending. So soon, probably within a day or two, I'll be doing that for Rebirth. But yeah. I can't wait for part 3. I think that's going to be good. Wutai probably happens either twice, like once pre-airship, one post-airship. But then I think Wutai is actually going to kind of move too. Wutai is like a nation now of war, and they're warring with Shinra. I think we're going to get an all-out war, man. When Diamond Weapon is attacking Midgar, we're going to get like Wutai soldiers hitting the beach on ships, attacking Midgar. Aerial attacks. We're gonna get just all out war. It's gonna be so crazy. We're gonna get Yuffie's whole story with her dad, Godo. We're gonna get she said Viceroy Saruf. She said Glenn, and what's her name, Lucia, from Crisis, Ever Crisis. It's gonna be insanity. It's gonna be pure insanity. Like,
absolute insanity.
And it's gonna be peak. It kind of is almost the finale of FF7. Honestly, like, everybody dies. Scarlet, Heidegger, Rufus, who else am I forgetting? They all die in the scene. Like, it's crazy. It's absolute, like, yeah, Dalit mission for sure. FF8. It's just,
oh my god!
insanity.
And when the Turks and Avalanche are just like, honestly, oh my god, when the Turks and Team Avalanche team up to
fight Don
to
Corneo,
defeat the Freak himself.
that was hype, man. That is gonna be,
I love that. It's like,
so good.
if we can agree on one thing, is that this bastard needs to go.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I really hope to that, and I know we will. Like Reno and Rude, specifically, but also Elena. I really hope they get like a good ending. Also, Sung's never in it again. In the OG, he's just gone after he gets stabbed. He's definitely going to be in part 3. Like, I really want to see Reno and Rude kind of have like a thing, because I actually know from On the Way to a Smile, I think it is, that Reno and Rude, when Meteor's coming down, they just have like a bro moment, and they're pretty much like, we're going out together, man. Like, it's been amazing being with you, or something, like being partners.
Oh
like,
my god.
I really want to see that, and I think we will. I think we will probably see it. Yeah, I also want to see them. Yeah, like somebody said, Reno and Rude for prison. I want to see them really kind of repent for what they did to Sector 7 and help out, man. Yeah, I want to see them like maybe rescuing people in Midgar. Like, that would be cool in another crisis.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Do we think
Maybe,
Zach
like,
joins the party?
evacuate or
So
something.
I had an idea about Zach. Think about it. Post reunion, worlds will merge, theoretically speaking, right? So theoretically, what could happen? We lose our main character with a Buster Sword, Cloud, lost in the live stream. During that time, right after the reunion, Zach could be leading the party,
Ooh.
right? For a short
Snap.
period of time. It could be interesting.
That would be wild.
The only question remains, how in the world are we gonna do it? But it would theoretically
Dream
be
World,
possible.
maybe. Dream World?
Could be Dream, but at the same time,
maybe?
it
I don't know.
could work. I think if live stream sequence, we're gonna learn what happened with Zach and Cloud. We also see Zach's death and everything that came after it with Cloud. You don't have to go down to the Shinra basement, so that could make sense. But at the same time, then it almost interferes. Like, that's a really sad memory in the live stream scene. It tends to be quite victorious in the live stream scene when they come out, and it's very like intimate with Cloud and Tifa, and kind of like they learn each other's feelings. Like, there's nothing else to hide. They're pretty much dying in the live stream. Like, their feelings are open. He's like, yeah, I joined Soldier because I wanted to impress you. She's like, oh my goodness, and talks about her mother and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, it's really cool. But yeah, I don't know if it would fit there. But anyway, that is a possibility. Then he has to go away at some point, which is also hard. But it could make sense, then he's then in the game at some point. But I'm gonna be honest, it would not hit the same if Cloud and Zach are just running around together in the party. It's like two Buster Sword characters. It doesn't really make sense fully. So I don't know if they would do that. I don't know if I would do it personally, but it could work because they have that gap where post reunion, it could be that Sephiroth kills Zach once and for all before Cloud comes back to you. So it could be awesome.
That's a good point.
Or or his dream world dissipates or something, or Zach dies in the reunion fully because goes away because like Aaliyah's theory, Zach has Jenova cells. Zach comes into the full reunion, so Sephiroth can take all the parts of his what's the word he used? You wrote it down. His mother, who's separate, and put her back together. So it could be cool. It could be cool. Sephiroth, Jenova cells from all worlds, to make her complete. So that could be cool as well. And then maybe Zach is out of the picture after the reunion. Maybe he like attacks Sephiroth as he's reborn. That could be a whole thing, man. There could be a whole like kind of 1/3 of the way in big moment. Disc 1 of part 3.
Yeah,
finale.
Disc 1.
I'd love it. I'd be game. Yeah, because then that still allows Cloud to like have his moment of victory at the end when he fights Sephiroth. Like we said, we kind of came to the conclusion as kids that he defeats Sephiroth in his mind, like the idea of Sephiroth, which is we talked about this earlier. Like Sephiroth's true self, the true Sephiroth, the idea of him is more powerful than any physical body because he can't die. His will is too strong. So much like Sephiroth kills the true Aerith, her true self in the church. That's why she actually dies in Rebirth at the end, even though Cloud deflects. Cloud kills the true Sephiroth, the idea of Sephiroth at the end, at the edge of creation. I think is going to be sick.
That is so cool. Do you have a favorite part of Rebirth?
Oh my goodness. All of chapter 13 and 14 are just It feels like watching a trilogy of movies, right? It's insanity. If I had to pick a favorite, oh man, meeting Vincent was crazy.
Meeting Vincent was amazing.
Because I think what it was for me was, and even like seeing Vincent and Sid and everybody together, I think what did it was like, it was the solidification. Like we hadn't seen Vincent yet, right, in this format, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is the full party together, you know, and like seeing how well and how much they improved Vincent, and having him talk with Sid, and Sid's yapping and they sit down and in the I'm like, oh my, I think that's when it just hit me. I would say my favorite scene, I'm gonna have to give you distinctions because we're talking about like 50 hours of cutscenes, whatever. I think my favorite scene might be chapter 9, like I said earlier, right? Cloud and Tifa, where he's like, I don't know what's happening to me. I'm falling apart.
I love that. Yeah.
It's where it hit me like, these are humans now, you know, like
yes, they're human.
Yeah, he'd be scared. He would never show it in front of Barrett and Aerith because he wants to impress them.
Yeah, watching all your peers turn to the Black Cloaks. Yep. I mean, that's horrifying.
All the way up to Roche, where he's like, oh no, I'm next. Like, it's just so sad, man. Yeah.
It's so sad.
Heartbreak. And then still, like, Tifa's like, wow, she is amazing. Like, she forgives him for, you know, losing himself and pushing her into the thing. He also is like, I'm listening. I'm here for you.
Yeah, she forgives him.
Almost kisses him. Was like, wow, she is a legend.
She's just, and I think she's just so locked into his true self that she's like, man, I know this is not even him. Like, we need to figure this out. Yeah,
totally. It was so sad though. That scene, like, it was beautiful, and that's when it hit me again. I was like, this is surpassing FF10 for me. It's just like, you know, character, story, writing, gameplay, is everything, full package. Like, this is it, man. This is the best Final Fantasy ever.
Yeah. Vincent holding the portal. Yeah, Vincent holding the portal up for Cloud. That was so cool. That was also very Advent Children, I find.
That was the awesome. Ending, yeah, that was
the end fight where everyone kind of lifts Cloud up. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Thank you, subtext. Yeah, 7th Infantry. the march. Yeah, that was amazing.
I'm curious to see what. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Somebody had an idea for the third game, which I think is going to be it. Somebody's like, what if the crew of the Highwind ends up being the 7th Infantry?
Oh my God, yes.
Right? Because he was like, will we ever see you again, sir? And he's like, I think so, soldiers. And so it's like, what is this? I was like, oh my God, what if they're the crew of the Highwind and they get to see him again? That would be so hype.
Yeah, that'd be so hype.
Right? It has to be, yeah. Who else could it possibly be? Yeah, it's them. It's got to be.
Aww, I miss them too.
So good. Yeah, I think, what was I going to say? Yeah, Vincent is just so cool too. I can't wait to see him explore. Like, his Galleon Beast is just awesome, like Bloodborne type stuff, you know, the music. Yeah, I'm really sad they didn't include the full soundtrack. They did it the same with remake, so we'll get the soundtrack plus and get Vincent's theme. It's like, come on, man. I got, like, you know, the Corneo like Cactuar fight theme, but I didn't get Vincent's theme on the soundtrack. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Come on now.
give us what we need.
I think there's literally like 3, 4, 5 Don Corneo battle themes on the soundtrack, but no Vincent's theme. Who made the soundtrack list? Who split it up?
I like that Don Yeah.
Yeah.
Don Corneo. Corny's in the name. I mean,
he's corny. It's in the name. Yeah. That is good.
I can't believe he's still alive after being such an insane, disgusting freak. Like, nobody shot him. That's crazy.
It's gonna be so satisfying when he dies, man. In part 3, that's for sure.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. Vincent Boss theme. Yeah.
Cactuar Samba slap. Oh God, yeah, it slaps so hard.
Yeah. I love so many songs that didn't make it on. Yeah, and none of the Nibelheim like cutscene songs are there. I'm like, come on, you're killing me. But no, Aaliyah, what's your favorite song from the game? I know what your answer is, I think, because you told me.
What I don't remember the name of it, but I think it's when you're in the maze, right?
Yeah, it's when you're controlling Aerith in the Temple of Ancients. Yeah, that's the one you like. It's a play on the and also Aerith's theme, or the Temple of the Ancients, and the you can hear the cries of the planet. Ooh.
Talking about the power of music. So for those of you who don't know, I play the piano. I'm classically trained. So
it's really good.
A lot of you better stop. You're too nice. You're too sweet. You're too sweet. But I like to learn things by ear sometimes because there's not always sheet music that's available. So I learned Aerith's theme through the chords.
Oh, yeah.
No. I didn't learn Aerith. I learned Promises to Keep because I found the chords.
Is like a genius, yeah.
Nobuo's a genius. I learned Promises to Keep on the piano fully. And then
Yep.
I like rewinded some parts. I'm like, this sounds familiar. This sounds, I was able to learn Aerith's theme completely just using the structure of Promises to Keep, fully Aerith's theme. Like,
how cool is
you're
that?
able to reconstruct Aerith's theme using Promises to Keep. So I thought that was absolutely genius.
That's the sheer level of like care that everybody's putting in. Like, I think it's just so sick to have Nobuo putting out like one shot explosions of his best work like for each game is so good, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, part 3 is probably going to be is likely going to be that high wind scene, man. I'm telling you, I can see the shots. Let me direct it. Yeah, I can see I can see the shots.
One thing I'm very excited for, I will say, is Marlene's role in the third game.
Yes, Marlene's role. What do you think it's going to be? So we see Marlene at the end of the game. I think that's why they're building up to this. And she says, the flower girl. It's like, wait, what?
She knows that Aerith is cooking.
She's communicating with Aerith. The question is, will they have some sort of communication between them? What will Marlene accomplish? Marlene also is very smart in the world, in like the world-ending world. She has knowledge of her Aerith connection. So very fascinating. All right.
Yeah, very fascinating. She just knows so much.
Yeah, she knows so much.
I'm so curious about her. Yeah. They have to fix something with Barrett never getting back.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, he goes to see her. It's in the story. The final night, like everybody goes to see their loved ones. Cloud and Tifa are the only ones they've got left, so they stay together. But yeah, everybody goes to see people. He goes to see Marlene, so that'll be, I'm telling you, musical theme montage, CG, love scene, Barrett and Marlene, Nanaki and Bugenhagen, Sid and Shara, boom, 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 boom.
I wonder if they have...
Reeve just goes and hangs out with his doll. No, I don't know. He does something cool.
I wonder if it's possible for Marlene to potentially like control or contribute to the stopping of the meteor somehow. I wonder.
That would be awesome. Yeah. So there's a thought. Actually, Aaliyah was cooking on this on a theory with Dyne. So why does Marlene have powers?
Yeah, Dyne.
Yeah. Why does Marlene have powers? Dyne seems to have powers. He is able to like pull a bunch of stuff onto him, like Akira style with Tetsuo onto his arm.
Akira.
At the end, it's like, whoa, that could be really something.
And I think they did really well because he would probably have a lot of just mental and emotional burdens on him because of everything he's lost. So, you know, you can pass it off as him sort of talking to himself or having delusions, but he seems to really see his family. Like, I know what I have to do to see them again. I can hear them. I hear my wife. He
literally says, I hear her voice. I hear Eleanor. I hear Marlene. And I'm like, what if he's actually hearing them? Dude, I'm telling you, he can talk to the planet. He might be like he might be a very small part ancient, and maybe so is Marlene. Like, we don't know. Yeah, it could be awesome.
I'm so curious.
Because there's a reason that like she was able to receive that.
Because Barrett doesn't have that power. Yeah.
So there's definitely some intrigue there. Yeah, I think they'll do something cool with it for sure. Yeah, she's great.
Hojo may have experimented with Dyne.
Yeah, that could also be the case, for sure, with Dyne. Sure. But either way, I love the sort of like that's the sort of ambiguity that I like. If we're gonna talk,
I love it
because that's like, ooh, that makes sense either way.
Yeah.
But, why does Marlene have powers? As opposed to the original, where they'll be like main plot stuff. You're like, why is Sephiroth in a crystal? I was like, well, to explain, we need a notebook. We need 30 minutes, and you need to open your mind. Like it's not so hard to grasp the lore. But again, that's why I think the original has built such a like massive cult following, is because it just demands like such an understanding of everything that it's quite an enjoyable journey to like go into the lore. And then there's the extra stuff like, oh, okay, let's watch Advent Children. It's like a really kind of deep rabbit hole and a very enjoyable one, a rewarding one to hop in. So I do think that's why the original is just so popular. But I think Rebirth everything is making it have more clarity, and you won't need that anymore besides extra stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think we covered most of our list. There's the idea of this shot, which I'll share briefly here.
This. Yeah.
There's this interesting shot of Zack where there was a little flash that's a little bit different than the memory than the one that Cloud gets when he experiences Jenova, which is like this kind of green visual language and kind of glitching and stuff. On this one of Zack, we have this sort of scan lines, which interestingly enough looks like an old CRT screen that you would play Final Fantasy VII on. If you look really close, look at the scan lines there. Ooh. Very interesting. It almost looks like you're watching a CRT and this is happening. I don't think it's particularly like some crazy bomb that we're discovering here, but what I do think is it might relate, if we're going to go most insane theory. We'll talk about that in a second, but like I said, always go for the simplest answer, I think, on stuff like this, which has been what Remake has done and Rebirth has done. So I think this is most likely just, showing this is the effect of the new world being born. Like when the golden light shows up, this is typically what happens, this effect. So yeah, it's showing that fate changed, and this is the visual language they've taught us for that. I think it's just a fun Easter egg that it looks like almost you're watching an old TV, right? And playing an old game. It could also relate, if we want to talk really crazy theories, to the apparently the developers said there's like 6 worlds, Whoa. 6 dream worlds if you count the stamps, right? So there's a different stamp dog breeds on like the bag of chips.
That's so cool.
On the doll you buy for Aerith, and then there's the original one in Remake, and then there's the one where you see Zack. So there's different ones. They said there may be a secret 7th one. It's like, well, of course there is, right? They say that. So it could be cool if this is somehow related to the 7th secret world, and there's like this CRT effect. If you want to go super crazy, either super small brain or super big brain, depending how you look at it, you could say it's like, this is the OG world of the OG game and everything, and it's a CRT screen. It's like you're playing FF7. Again, do I think we're going to see Polygon, Zack, and Cloud walk out? Probably not, but that would be pretty crazy. That would be pretty crazy. Can you imagine?
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
That would be pretty wild. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's just
I wonder what they're saying with that.
Just a fun thing we discovered. So yeah, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on it.
Maybe it's like trying to tell us that we're literally on the outside viewing something.
At the end of the game, it zooms out and it's a kid playing OG FF7. My CRT, and it's like, honey, dinner's ready, and like the kid runs down.
That is so funny. That
would be hype. HD remaster of Fort Condor. Yeah, exactly. It's like the supplementary video that comes with a Fort Condor pack in the universe. Like you're a kid in the FF7 world playing a Fort Condor video game, which has like a fun side story that is this game. Yeah.
I love that. Oh, we figured it out.
That's it, guys. Like I said, only theory video you need to watch. No, man, I'm really good. I think we've gone through most of it though, Leah, haven't we?
I think we have, darling.
Looking at our list, yeah. I mean, we could talk all day about just cool ideas. You guys have shared some great stuff with us too. I would say, what do you think? Anything else you want to say, Leah, to the fans back home? I am so happy that you are sharing this with me, that you're doing this talk with me, and that you are enjoying the experience.
I'm having a great time. I see the hype now. I understand the hype. I don't know. This is really fun. Mm-hmm. Want to go to what am I thinking of? What's the beach called?
The beach? Costa del
Sol? Yeah, let's go to Costa del Sol.
Let's do it.
We'll go to Costa del Sol after this. I think everyone needs a trip to Costa del Sol after this. It's too stressful.
Sounds good.
Chadley is Sephiroth, Marlene is Aerith, and Cactuar will save the world.
Yes, absolutely. That would be great. Yellow Alchemist says, do you think we'll see Aerith the Midgar Alley looking at the Mako pipe? Yes and no. Like I don't know that it's meant to be exclusively the Mako pipe at the end of the original game. I think it's meant to ask the question like, wait, is this the beginning of the game, or is this her in the live stream because it's green? And I think that's what's cool, is the ambiguity there. Again, does the whole party die in the original game? A lot of us thought that until the Advent Children came out, quite honestly. Yeah. I think they're dead, and I thought it was awesome. It's a great story. The planet was saved, man. Humans are gone. They're extinct.
And then they use the Aerith shot from the beginning, which is like another huge theme I find, which I love about FF7, is history repeating itself, the cycle, it's like, okay, the planet goes back to what it once was. It reclaims the infrastructure, nature revives itself. Mm-hmm. Aerith, the imagery from the beginning and then the very end. Sephiroth acting like Jenova. There's just so many history repeats itself.
Totally. It's so great.
I love it.
No, I love it. Really have been able to sort of reconnect and sort of redevelop a new appreciation for FF7 in general, like going through it with Aaliyah. And girl, it's been so much fun doing it with you. It's been, like, obviously, fun. I love Aaliyah and she's my girlfriend and I love sharing stuff with her, but like again, to sort of see her get me asking new questions and making me realize new stuff has been just the coolest thing ever. So yeah, what a joy to share this with you.
You're the only person that could understand my brain.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Yes, so. Indeed. Yes, you are my Tifo live stream helper. Indeed.
Oh my God, no. It's been so fun talking to you. It's like speaking to, when you go to the library and you're like, oh, I'm kind of looking for this, I don't know if it's kind of a niche sort of interest, and then the librarian goes on this incredible it's like an adventurer taking you on a quest.
The quest
of lore.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Let me tell you about the tome of,
absolutely.
That's how it feels to talk to you in the best way.
I agree.
Like a library of knowledge and love.
And like I said, I am so glad we need more women voices in this space. We need more female women voices in this space of FF7. We really do, and sort of like theory talks and fun stuff like this. So great to talk to you. And like, yeah, you had some insane bomb drop theories in here. This is wild.
It's because it's a 2-person.
Yeah. Well, our synergy attack is really strong.
It's the synergy attack. Yep. There you go. Synergy.
Yeah. It's been so much fun. So yeah, we are going to send you guys over on a raid in a moment. Please, this will be posted on YouTube as well. So please keep the conversation going over on there. And please, guys, if you want to hop in the Discord, do that. We would love to have you guys.
That was a lot of fun
in there and continue the conversation, but also in the YouTube comments when this is posted. If you missed part of it, it'll be there likely tomorrow or the day after. So get ready for it. But I am super excited to just continue it. And man, oh man, what a journey it's going to be to finish the final game with Aaliyah. It's going to be really fun.
That was amazing. Yeah, I can't wait. Do you think they're going to drop it 2027 on the 7th of?
That would be so cool. 7/7/7/7/27. That would be so sick. Yeah. Let me just see who to raid here, guys.
Sayori is streaming FF7 Rebirth. Let me see who else is live.
No kidding.
Yeah. Wait. Let me see.
Yeah, who else? You do Sayori.
8-Bit D is playing Ocarina of Time.
Oh, don't get us started on those voices.
Yeah.
Don't get us started on those voices.
There's a lot of amazing folks.
Awesome. Well, hey, how about this? Let's see. We have. Why don't we? You said 8-Bit D's playing Ocarina.
And she's also doing a charity stream.
It's for a charity. Yeah. Well, you know what? Why don't we do 8-Bit D? She's doing a charity.
Yes.
That sounds great.
I love it.
Yeah, we love supporting charity. Her name is just 8. Right. 8. Just trying to make sure to spell it right.
Guys, this was so fun. Yeah, I was really nervous about this.
Yeah, please also, guys, check out Aaliyah's stream. Please shout yourself out. Like, it is so much fun. I'll shout you out if you're going to be nice and...
Oh, it's all right. Thank you. I was nervous. You guys are great.
She's the best, guys. Please.
You are. That was really kind. Ocarina of Time has been so much fun.
Yeah. It's just... Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, we are rating 8-Bit D. She's doing a charity, which we love to support. She's playing Ocarina of Time, one of the greatest games ever made. You can't go wrong.
Love it.
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you to Aaliyah. This conversation is not over. I think I'm going to be on Baby Seal's show in a couple of days, so look out for that. More info coming soon on timing and what day and stuff. But yeah, get ready for that. And also, yes, Philosopher's Raid, if you guys want to copy that over. Guys,
I will copy that.
Yes, thank you, Aaliyah. Yeah. And like I said, check her out. She has the best show on Twitch, as you can hear already, the best voice on Twitch, best cosplays and everything. And also, guys, if you want to see my Tifa cosplay full view, follow on Twitter if you want to hear our voice acting and our fun stuff as well. And also, we have a couples channel if you want to see more of us together.
Yay.
We have a newly minted couples channel going for our first 1,000 subs over on YouTube. So check it out. And we will be posting more of our Japan trip as well to that. So
yes, indeed.